Welcome to the Cult of Cinema. My name is Aaron, and I'm joined by MasterChaos, director extraordinaire and film writer. He's been writing a lot of films recently. Which
Yes, I have. I've been busy, and I'm happy to be back in the Cult of Cinema, man. Thanks for having me.
You've had me. I've been with you guys on the Voyage to the Bottom for a few episodes, which has been a lot of fun. And I keep getting invited back, so lucky. Thank you so much for that, by the way. It's been a blast, even though I've had to sit through Cool as Ice, and that was rough.
But what was worse, Cool as Ice or Vampire in Beijing?
Cool as Ice because of this.
Okay.
I watched Vampire in Beijing on my own, and my better half had just come home, and she sat down, and it was like a few hours before. So I'm like, okay, I got to watch this movie again so I can have like formulate in my mind, right? So I'm sitting down, I'm watching Cool as Ice, and she's like, "This could be divorce." Hey there, this could be divorce like territory. Luckily, Cool World came out after that, and unlike you, she loves that film, and she's a massive David Bowie fan. So not only did she say to watch the whole thing, but she's like, wait until after the credits because Cool World, the song comes into it, which is it's Bowie, so it's an awesome song. And she met Bowie like when she went to university in New York. She was in an elevator, and she was staying in the same like hotel that that Bowie and Aman, right, it was staying in. And so she gets in the elevator, and there's Bowie and Aman standing on the other side of the elevator. And my better half is never somebody that's silent or shy, and she froze. She did not say a word. So, hey, Robert. Vince, hey, Bumpy. Are you ready for the sale?
I am. I'm always ready, man. It's my. I think my coverage of Vinegar Syndrome has sort of become a thing where it's more of like the expectation factor is there and the excitement is there, but it's more of like, okay, here comes a train wreck. Get ready. Let's see how many bodies pile up this time. But that's become part of the fun of it. Like, do we need this on 4K? And then the community just kind of, feeds off of the fun of all that. But absolutely ready.
A lot of times we're doing the live coverage at the same time, and you don't know this most of the time, but after I finish doing my coverage, you're usually still going. So I pop in to your stream and I just kind of watch and see like your meltdown reaction on certain titles. You're excited about The Golden Child.
I love Golden Child. It's one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I watched it over and over. I'm not gonna pay full price, but I'm excited for it. Hey, what's up, bud?
I will say this. Paramount Presents just put a Golden Child, you know?
I do know that. I do know that, and that's something we can discuss because I think that's happening a lot more recent with Vinegar Syndrome specifically. That like, hey, look what we're putting out. Oh, it's just a 4K of a movie that came out a few months ago. Oh, or a movie that has a perfectly good Blu-ray that people don't need to upgrade. That's been happening way too much. So I'm not necessarily in a hurry to get anything that's been announced so far. Especially like I'm shocked Dirty Work is selling as fast as they say it's selling.
I think it's because of that alternate cut that we haven't seen before, like Dirtier Work. Is making that sound. I love Norm Macdonald. I hate the cover. I'm not gonna lie. The cover doesn't do anything for me.
Artwork in general has been shit this year. Terrible artwork all year.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest with you. None of these are ones that I want at a full price range. Like that's me. Now, I have like a favorite, like of everything that they've put out. The titles that resonated with me, like when we're talking like Black Friday, halfway to Black Friday titles, then it was the Angel Collection, the Amityville Curse Collection, because I love the Amityville like titles. Which how come we haven't done the Amityville yet? It's just Amityville.
You know what? It's surprising we haven't.
And by the way,
everybody Morocco, does it.
And I need like a walk-on scene for
absolutely.
And Fade Black, because Fade Black is one of my all-time favorite films. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, went into that film expecting what it wasn't. And what it wasn't was a slasher film. what it was a psychological thriller. But a lot of people went in looking at Fade to Black and seen it and said, okay, no, this is a cool slash film. I'm going to dress up all these people and kill it, which he dresses up. It's Dennis Christopher, who come off of doing Breaking Away, which is another, again, a favorite film of mine, which needs a better. Have we got a good Breaking Away release? Because I don't have a good Breaking Away release yet.
I don't either. I don't know. I mean that might be might be a good cinematograph release. Who knows?
It's a fantastic film, man. It was one of those like seminal things for me when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
We got Planet Mondo here. We got Vin Cinephile. The worst year for Vinegar Syndrome artwork. I got to agree. Malcolm said he hasn't watched most of the Vinegar Syndrome titles that he's gotten his sub this year. You're not the only person.
I don't blame you.
But I'm going to play the video that's going to show the titles and that are coming up, and then we'll talk about them, because I want your thoughts on every one of these here snazzy little titles. So it's just a little. Those are one that we know. Rest in peace, Twilight Time. I used to love them so much, man. Score. So, what are your thoughts on each of these titles? Let's get your thoughts on each one of these.
Golden Child, yes. Jade, I saw it back in the day. Rewatched it recently when it was hinted at. It sucks, man. Jade is not a good movie. It is a mess. It is boring. There, you think it's gonna be a Basic Instinct kind of sexy movie. There's barely any nudity in the movie. And Linda Fiorentino is barely naked. I mean, it's like, not that sells the movie or makes it better, but I'm saying the movie is sold for a certain reason, and there's no real nudity in it. She's barely. Don't go for her being naked in it, because she's barely in the movie with her clothes off. It's even black and white, I think. And what's his face from NYPD Blue was boring. Blanking on his name, but the main guy. Yeah, it's boring, horrible lead. And it doesn't even feel like a movie. How am I blanking on everybody's name? Exorcist director, Friedkin. It doesn't feel like a Friedkin movie. It doesn't feel like a Joe Esterhaus movie. It is a messy, bland mess, and I think a lot of people, similar to something like Sliver, which you think at least Sliver was a sexier movie, but still pretty underwhelming. This Jade is had all the right ingredients, but it just wasn't. It wasn't powerful or compelling enough to be something that I think deserves this, like, oh my god, reappraisal situation. As opposite to something like Looking for Mr. Goodbart, which is a phenomenal film, and absolutely is a sexy movie. That's a movie that I think where Jade wishes it was, but it is far from it. And then Swimming to Cambodia, I haven't seen the whole thing. I literally couldn't last through it. When I first watched it in film school, I'm like, God, this is boring. It's almost like a YouTube video. A guy's just talking, and he's sort of narrating a thing, and I'm like, man, Spalding Gray is an interesting speaker, but this does not hold my interest, and I'm not paying for it. So actually, cinematograph in general is dead to me, except for the fact that they somehow released Drop Zone. I'm still scratching my head over that.
For like Jade, for instance, that's all I'm William Friedkin, because the script that Joe Esterhaus wrote is not what's on that screen. William Friedkin rewrote almost the entirety of that film.
I believe it.
Doing some little things, and Esterhaus wanted his name off it because he was so pissed. So it's a weird mix, but it does go a bit to show you like kind of the way Vinegar Syndrome is going with what they're pushing. because in back in the day would be those kind of cult horror ones that would be like the things that they push, like even the Fade to Blacks and like the Innocent Blood, stuff like that. But now it's like Jade with the shittiest cover possible. Like, how can we make Jade worse? This cover. That's how you can make Jade worse.
Yeah.
The cover, at least for Jade, was really nice on VHS, and you as one that made you go and rent it. Hey, there's Emmy. But this is not good. Well, for Swimming to Cambodia, like certain people, that's going to be their thing. I do think he's ahead of his time with his YouTube video before YouTube.
Yeah.
Golden Child, I'm not as big. I do like it. I'm not the master like fan that you are. But everybody's got the ones that they like.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if I need this. It'll depend. I'll wait till people go with the features. Is there a good documentary, that type of thing? I know there's barely any features at all on the Paramount Presents one, because there is a Paramount Presents as well. With just like 2 8-minute like little like archival featurettes. But the Paramount Presents, they're sexy looking cases. So I do like the way that they're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So there's not a lot there for me, like per se, when it comes to that, because I'm a weird little guy, and I like my weird films. There's a reason you put me on the Vige for a bit, because this is the like one of the video movies that Sasha mentioned. She's like, nobody's seen this. I'm like, I watched that last when it came out. I was in like one of those Tubi moods, and I was watching a whole bunch of these like Tubi like thrillers, and that was one of the ones I watched. But yeah, I mean, like, there's 2 more titles coming. One's a 90s title, and one's 70s or 80s, I think. And they're both potential like horror adjacent type films. Because we'll go to that like thing afterwards and check out what's going to be there. So if you're not, so you want to grab the Golden Child, potentially eventually. So you're going to look at the numbers for that, right? See how it goes.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching it anytime soon. And honestly, I would suggest to people purchasing. Subscriber week is next month, and that's when they should. I think it's next month, or maybe July. No, I'm pretty sure it's June, or maybe it's July. I forget what they do, but anyway, subscriber week is coming up, and the sales for subscriber week are 100 times better than they are during Black Friday. So if there's nothing that is under 1,000, because that may go fast. And there's nothing under 1,000. If they're over 1,000, wait for subscriber week. If not, you can just wait for the next Black Friday. That's only in a couple more months, because you'll need to. It's a good idea to save your money, and use it for the things you need. Like we were talking off air, Aaron, food and experiences that will enrich your life. You don't need to pay $50 for Dirty Work, which, by the way, I didn't address, but I love that movie, but I wouldn't pay that price for it. And I'm almost considering buying it without the slipcover, just because I'd rather. I don't need the hairy slipcover. You know, I mean, I'd want to see the movie. I want to see the alternate cut. I love Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. But man, the pricing is crazy. But to your question, the 2 secret titles, I think the rumor is it's Dark Half and Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Also, The Sentinel was mentioned at one point. But I think it's pretty much a lock for Dark Half, and I don't know how people guess these things, but what do you think?
The Crows is that's in the picture. That's why it's Dark Half, and I think they're right. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. I got the Scream Factory of that. Let's Scare Jessica to Death is again a favorite in my collection. That being said, I don't think I need to get Let's Scare Jessica. Wow me, give me something like I really want, but if I want to, like, I'd love to be teaching film classes, and that's one of the things that I want to eventually do. There's films that I want to talk about, and Let's Scare Jessica to Death is one of the films that I would definitely do a class on, because it's just such a unusual, masterfully weird film that I think that you got to experience at least once. But it's one. I'm not sure if you need to own it if it's going to be like a $60 film. Because there is a Scream Factory edition that was out there. I'm not sure if that's going to print now. We got a question here. What's that? Do either of you know anyone that still loves Vinegar Syndrome like they used to love Vinegar Syndrome? I feel like they're consistently a rising costs are wearing most of the luster for even the diehard fans. I get that a lot, actually. I get that thrown at me a lot. For those that are new here, around 8 years ago, I did a WTF year, and at the time, around 11 years, I did my first Vinegar Syndrome review 11 years ago. And it was me, and there was Pizzawell, and there was another guy. There's three of us, and nobody knew what Vinegar Syndrome was. Like, didn't really care. It's just, oh, they're putting in weird titles, whatever. 8 years ago, I did a WTF year, and during that year, I had a friend of the Just to This podcast reach out to me and say, "Oh, the guy that does this would love to have you on." He's, so I did some Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and I got called Mr. Vincent. It stuck with me for like a long period of time. And when I didn't talk about Vinegar Syndrome enough later on, I got blowback for like, "Oh no, you're not genuine." Like, I talk about other movies too.
Wow.
And yeah, no, it became a thing. I had to change my Twitter name because people would tag me in Vinegar Syndrome questions. Like, I would like, "Oh, do you know what's going on?" And like, I'm just a guy on the internet. Like, I don't know Joe Rubin. Yeah, especially then, I couldn't have been fun for Vinegar Syndrome, like getting questions and having this like random YouTuber like tagged on every one of their questions. So yeah, but no, I think that it's become a point where some people that fell in love with Vinegar Syndrome at a point are falling out of love with it a bit now. It happened with Scream Factory. It happened with Anchor Bay. And there's going to be people that are coming in at this point because there's always that's always new to somebody else. So whereas we've gotten a lot of their stuff, me, MasterChaos, Malcolm, a lot of you guys got a lot of their releases in your shelf already. Some of the newer stuff, there's not a lot for us. But for somebody that's just coming in, there's a hell of a nice backlog of titles that could be interesting for somebody that's just finding out what Vinegar Syndrome is. That's my thought on it anyway. What about you? What do you think?
No, I think the absolutely the impression of the originals, the OG Vinegar Syndrome fans has changed. And I think, I mean, I there's probably at least in my community, I don't think there's people that are like, I still love them. I don't care what they put out. I'll buy everything. I mean, those people exist, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, at least the areas that I truck in, most people are like, what the fuck are they thinking? What is going on here? And I think a lot of people are disappointed. I mean, I think artwork in general has been, I can't say shoddy, but certainly lazy at times and disappointing. And I think that's a big part of the appeal, right? Was the slipcovers and the cool designs and whatever. That's changed. Pricing has certainly changed. Black Friday doesn't feel like Black Friday anymore. You used to be able to get a new movie or a sale title for under $20. This year, no way. Cheapest movie will be $22 at least. And then it's like, do you want to take a risk on a $22 movie that you've never heard of? And then on the other side, yes, they're bringing in bigger titles. You got what was the biggest one? I guess maybe Beastmaster was really one of the first big, like, holy shit, they got Beastmaster. But you got Showgirls, Roadhouse, all these things. Yeah, there you go. Still one of the best releases. Great cover. And then and Golden Child, which is a big sort of well-known title. But how many people that are buying Golden Child and buying Showgirls are going to stick around and and pick up Surf 2 or a Master of the World? None of them. They're like, what the fuck is this? Oh, I don't want this shit. I'm just here for the well-known stuff. I doubt the crossover in sales is there just to attract people. You know what I mean? I certainly, if I was in that boat, I mean, luckily I straddle both worlds. I love all kinds of movies, but most people are just going there for like the big name title. Like, you go to Walmart and you see, let's say it is Surf 2. You see Surf 2 on the shelf, or I don't know, Oppenheimer. I don't think anybody's picking up Surf 2. Like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting. Nah, it's not gonna happen. And I think Vinegar Syndrome They're selling well, but it's selling to the people that collect those movies. But I doubt they stick around to add more shit to the cart. That's my
So
opinion.
you
I
think
might be
it's an echo
wrong. What's that?
It's like it's a fan echo chamber of like selling to the same people over and over, and eventually some of that drops off.
Yeah,
Surf Tale is one of the worst titles they ever put out. I'm just putting it out there.
awful.
It is. Like worst titles here, real quick. 5 titles, no, 4 titles I really hate from the Vinegar Syndrome put out.
Yep.
Sorry, you know, nope.
Oh, I liked it, but yeah, I get it. Oh,
I don't know. And you want number 5? House of Usher VSA release. Bored the hell out of me.
oh.
God, that was boring.
Okay, I didn't bring mine, but I will name 2 movies that when I started my channel, like around COVID time, I was like, oh, this is cool. They're releasing some interesting movies, really lost kind of stuff, and it did remind me of the video store era where you look at find a cover like, oh, that looks like fun, but then it turned out to be shit. But whatever, you sort of had fun renting it anyway. I can point to 2 movies that started my downfall with Vinegar Syndrome in general. It was a VSA. It was Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon of Disaster, whatever the fuck it was called.
I love that one, but I'll tell you why afterwards.
Oh my god, so bad.
It is really bad.
I remember you liking this, but that was like, what the hell? Why would they release this garbage? And then Cardona, and that was the year that I was subscribed. I had subscribed for 2 years for the channel to review everything.
We had
which
so many
I
talks
did.
off camera.
Yeah, and then Cardona comes out, and I'm like, I'm done. This is like, and then that was the year of the Camille Keaton box set, which was really bad. And she's great, but the movies were terrible. A ton of other that year was just shit for me. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not subscribing to this. This is there is nothing for me here. So those 2 movies, the Cardona collection in general, and then the Dr. Jekyll's Dungeon. Ugh, I'm like, this is they're not speaking to me anymore. And then my channel became more critical of the label, but I think that's what people enjoyed, because I wasn't. There's a lot of people on here that glaze every label, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna be honest and say this is why I didn't like it. You could like it. This is why it didn't work for me.
I think people just assumed I was going to be happy about it because I'm Canadian. I'm going to love everything. Yeah, no, like to give it like it's it's flowers a bit. Shallow Grave came out that year. I really like that title.
Yeah, that's good.
And Devil's Story, which is so bad. I just like it. It is so insane. Dr. Jekyll, I watched with my better half, and she loved the fact that it was such a bad movie, but the main actor was so fucking intent on showing his acting abilities, which he didn't have. Like, but he was so passionate about it that she's like, oh god, I just love this film. Just for what a wonderful train wreck it is.
Wow. Okay.
And what
I get that.
Like, nudity on the cover, right? There's like drawn nudity on the cover, and I'll say it. Like sometimes nudity will make a movie better. That I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. Especially for that type of movie. It's an exploitation film, and you know what? Good thing is on the cover because it's not in the damn film. Anywhere else, you got a guy with a couple other people and a karate club, and that's about it. So you better enjoy that, because if you're screwed. But like
it's Mandingo fighting the whole movie. It's a mess. It's awful.
But there's like, I would love to say like there's a title that I'm excited about now, but there's not. I mean, like I still like the Forgotten Jelly collections. I'm way behind on those. I only got the first 3, but I do love their Forgotten Jellies. I'm a Giallo fan. It's one of the basis of like I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s. Giallo and slashers were like kind of fed to me on a regular basis, and I'm still my friends when they want to watch a Giallo and they're not quite sure, they'll ask me, got a suggestion, and I got my black Giallo gloves upstairs for just just in case I lose it, right? But no, I absolutely love the Giallo stuff. I like the homegrown horrors that they're doing. That I haven't bought any of them. I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed that they didn't do any more of the TV movie stuff, because those, like, I like that set, and I think that stuff has a much bigger chance of getting lost and not coming back than some of the films that they are preserving. Because a lot of the TV stuff, like that was done, wasn't shot on like film. It had a limited budget. Once it's gone, it's gone. Nobody's going to save it. A lot of it gets done over. The elements aren't always there. So when you can find stuff like that and you can save stuff like that, it's important to me. I grew up in the TV movie era, the water cooler talk.
Yeah, I mean the TV set's interesting. I mean most of those movies back then could only have been shot on film, so they must have elements somewhere.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, if you're talking about like Dark Shadows, when but most of those movies, at least the ones that I'm aware of, it must have not sold very well. But I agree that I think that probably had more legs in terms of exploring that genre than the giallo movies, which I personally I like them in theory, but there's a very rare giallo that works 100% for me.
You're gonna come here. You're gonna say some. Me and you're gonna watch some, and I'm gonna win you over.
I mean, I've seen thousands of them, and it's still just
But not with me.
They're
have the right audience.
boring. Well, maybe
right
there you go. That's I mean, dude, it's gonna happen eventually. I'm Morocco bound eventually.
You got to come here. Your last year subscribing, you are one of many people actually that have either DM'd me or told me this in the last week or so since I've been doing this coverage.
Good for you.
I mean, it's hard at peak time for me to say subscribe now. It's rough, man. It's tougher times. Constantly, I'm lucky. I'm blessed in the fact, see, where I'm living right now, I own this. There's no rent. There's none of that stuff. So that's good. But before I lived here, I was renting, and I was renting for like putting out a lot of money. And I can't imagine like having to like do rent and groceries and everything in today's economy and still like be able to buy the way that me and you used to buy before. Let alone look at like, I think I'm going to get like $1,000 subscription to like a company and kind of like roll that dice. It's hard to roll that dice nowadays. It's hard to make that decision. And I don't want to seem like I'm crapping on the company because I do like a lot of what they did. And to be honest, a lot of you guys probably found me through Vinegar Syndrome or Shame on You Screen Factory, which was an interesting video back in the day. But we got to be honest, and we got to like be blunt. Like Golden Child is probably the key, and it's a rad where it's going to bring a certain audience. It's going to bring MasterChaos and people that love the film and people that know like Eddie Murphy and stuff like that. Like Rad is getting another release right now from Mill Creek. I know because I reviewed for Mill Creek, and I'm actually excited about that release because it's like an hour and a half, 2 hour long documentary.
God damn! What is that? Why does that movie have such fucking life? It's insane.
That's what I want to know. Like I was unaware it had a following until Vinegar Syndrome put it out, right? But when they did, then I went on to like on Facebook, and there was like this rad like Facebook page, and they had no idea what Vinegar Syndrome was, so they thought that it was another scam company that was selling bootlegs of rad again. So they were asking people, "Is Vinegar Syndrome real? Is this a real company?" Like Rad's getting put out, like they had no idea what Vinegar Syndrome was, and they were like, "Yeah, Rad's coming out in 4K," and of course, eventually the steelbook came out, the Mondo steelbook came out from Mill Creek. And now there's the documentary. I want to see the documentary. I want to see the fans of Rad on my screen. I'm so excited to watch
that. You're alone in that. I don't understand the love for Rad. I don't get it. It's a bicycle movie, man. Jesus.
Oh, the end of Rad's hilarious. Me and my cousin are watching it, right? And it gets to the end where the two bikes are doing the little jumpy thing. We're red. There's like tears rolling down our face, and we can't stop laughing. And we're like, somebody like is like taking this super seriously. I'm sure.
Yeah. But it's actually it's funny that he brings that up because I think the issue with subscribing now to go back to his comment. You used to be able to guarantee, by the end of this year, I'm going to get a ton of new shit that's never been out super obscure stuff. Now you're getting stuff that you probably already have on Blu-ray and that you probably bought last week or or the month before. And I think that's 100% killing the subscription concept, because now I know I have the Paramount Presents, so I'm not running out to get the 4K Golden Child. uh I do want it, but I'm not like I'm desperate for it. I need it right now. And I think if I was subscribed and I got that, I'd be like, oh man, I already have that. Like it would have just been like a bummer, And I can't think of all the other movies that already have good releases that Vinegar Syndrome just says, hey, here's a 4K. Like, well, fuck you, man. I wanted a new movie. I wanted, even if it's a crap movie, at least it's new, and you could probably, sell. I mean, you could still sell everything you subscribe to, but they're not selling as well as they used to,
No, like
because
we're
they're,
getting to the point anymore.
yeah, and it's because they're hanging out on the website longer because people aren't buying as much because the prices are higher. So it's sort of like this domino effect is affecting everything. So you can't even resell the shit from your subscription that you could, 3 or 4 years ago. Now everything's different. So the subscription is no longer a safe bet that you're going to get, some solid surprises. You may get stuff you already have and you don't want to upgrade. Like Dark Half. I think Dark Half, I love Dark Half, but I think it has a Scream Factory release. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
so I did a review on it with around like 9 years ago with one of my friends actually.
Yeah, and I mean, do you want a 4K of it? Probably not, but maybe you do. I don't know, but I think that should be. I think the subscription model should be sort of like, I think Death Crocodile is starting this, where they are you pay a certain amount of money and then you can pick the titles you want for like that period to cover that
Yeah,
money. That's
different like
that works. You pay $1,000 up front, and then you get to pick what you want. That's great. I think that makes sense. The money gets the company gets the money, and then you get the stuff you really want, and you don't want to like waste it. I appreciate. I think that's a better model. Oop. You froze on my end. I don't know if it's frozen for everybody else.
No, I froze. I definitely froze.
Okay, there you are.
But yeah, Kino Cult's doing a lot of stuff that I really, really like. They just made an announcement. I missed Blood and Lace when Scream Factory put it out, and I really want that title, so I'm definitely going to be getting that one. And Horror with Teresa Russell. I'm not going to miss out on that one. Those are titles I'm excited about. Like those are titles that if I'm in a store and they're there, I'm picking them up right away. I'm not waiting on sale for something like that. Swimming to Cambodia. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Dirty Work. I'm waiting. I'm more interested in some of the stuff that Severin is putting out, and still some of that stuff is like the Lamberto Bath box set that's coming. I'm intrigued with that. And there's another like Cliff, what's it, Ty, whatever his name is, that guy that like made those really low budget like action movies.
Okay.
That looks kind of fun in a weird way. Hey there, Andrew. But it's different, and like Malcolm said too, where he lives in like in the UK, we live in England. Basically, a lot of times now Eureka and other companies, especially with the Asian titles, it's kind of crossing over, where they're doubling. Like John O'Brien came out twice. I think later Reporter came out twice. So for somebody like Malcolm that's getting like these 88 films, these other titles, and then he gets there's an announcement that, oh look, I'm getting another copy of a movie that I already got. And for you, when you were still a subscriber, like you had a lot of the Shout Factory and Scream Factory stuff. So when they're announcing Death Wish 2 and all this type of stuff, these are titles you got. They got like these random titles, and you're like, hey, I got, I've got this one here. Why can't you do one that's a little bit more to print, or that like The Keep? And I'm gonna be here's my hot take. Yeah, what the hell? Like the excitement behind The Keep still to this day baffles the hell out of me.
I love that movie though.
Do you really? I hate that film. It was so boring.
It's a 5-star movie for me, man.
Oh my god. So that makes it even better. Like when you're on here, because we have such uniquely different opinions on this type of stuff. But the director agrees with me. He wasn't a
He's
fan.
wrong.
Oh, but yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it in theater. God, I'm old. Yeah, I'm old, guys. If the beard and the lack of hair didn't give it away, I'm telling you, I'm kind of old. Uh, but yeah, no, there are. I never got to keep Love. Rad. I've actually watched that a couple times, but I'll be honest. I dare to watch it again. I just want to watch that document. I want to see the fans. I want to see what like hardcore Rad fans look like.
Google
Yeah,
it.
like that's some guys out there, and they're gonna be like doing their tricks on their bike and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
yeah, morbid curiosity, my friends. The Keep didn't have a good U.S. release until then. The Keep didn't have a good release at all. Like credit where credit's due, they did a really good job with their release of the Keep. But just there wasn't for me to look there's a equally exciting movie with water in it. The Keep and Surf Tale. There you go, double feature for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't get. And I love Michael Mann. Like Miami Vice is like one of my favorite shows of all time. I love Heat. I love all that stuff. But yeah, a lot of pain, man. A lot of pain.
Yeah,
Hey, Kimber.
I think the worst thing about the Keep release is the artwork. I think they shit the bed on that. I mean, when we looked at it in pictures, it looked like it was a cutout, like a cross cutout, and like, oh, okay, so it's a slip box, and then you take the thing out, and it's gonna match. But it wasn't. It was just a picture that looked like a cutout, and then the inside artwork was really bland. I feel like I know a lot of people, specifically Bullet Blake, Mr. Slipcover, was pretty angry about that because they sold you a look that you didn't get, technically. So people were disappointed with the box on that. But that's a movie that makes sense. It's obscure, it's
Definitely,
lost.
I agree.
Okay, release it. Absolutely, get that out. Stuff like The Devils, Freaked, which I 100% thought was coming from Vinegar Syndrome, but now it looks like Umbrella has it, which is great because I finally we get to see it. But those are the kind of things that need to come out. I don't need I don't need upgraded versions of shit I already have. Because I've come to the decision that I don't think 4K is that massive of a step forward. I think Blu-ray is perfectly fine. And I've got an OLED TV. It's $4,000 TV. It's the top of the line. And every time I put in a 4K, and I'm like, all right. I'm not like, oh, it's not like that scene in the fountain where your mind is expanding. So
No,
I
it's not.
I think the hype for it is not real.
No, I've got an LGC one, which is a fantastic OLED TV. And I'll tell you right now, like there's times when I can hear the difference more than I can see it. I think audio benefits more than video for 4K. But for me, I can't be getting a movie that I'm going to watch once and spending a ton of money on it, especially how much 4Ks cost now, and get a 4K just cause. If I'm buying a 4K release, and nowadays it's going to be something I'm rewatching, so it could be I could double dip on something over something new because it's something I watch. I'm a massive Friday the 13th fan. Like I'll probably get some of those Arrow releases because of that, but I'll probably not get some like title that I don't know in 4K, and I'll wait till either it goes down in price, it's really cheap, and I get it that way, or I'll get a Blu-ray of it because for most of those releases, I don't need a 4K. If it's shot on video, I don't need a 4K. Like I can understand Blu-ray now. I could never understand Blu-ray for shot on video first, but now I can with the Warner Brothers, like the disc rot and stuff like that. Like just to preserve that film on a physical media longer. But if anybody puts out a 4K shot on video film, I'm like, you are fucking scamming me.
Yeah.
It should not be 4K movies should not be shot on video. And it's a lot of movies that shouldn't be. There's a lot of films that can't be. There's a reason when they did the Robert Rodriguez trilogy in from Arrow Video, all those weren't on 4K because the way they were shot didn't make sense to have those other films on 4K. It just wouldn't work, and they'd be doing it for just the sake of having it there, and you'd be paying more for getting less.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people right now have gotten to that point. And it's not just the rising cost of things. I think we're seeing things be, like you mentioned before, regurgitated that we've seen before. And it's not like there's nothing out there. if we were at a point where there's no other films out there that came out, like, oh yeah, we got to put out Death Wish 2 again because there's no other films that we can put out. Bitch, there's more Death Wish films you can put out, let alone Death Wish 2, there's a lot of titles that can go. God, I'm king of the hot takes today. That's why. But yeah, for some of those releases, man, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm really not sure. Dark Half.
I mean,
you don't need 4K.
yeah, to talk about another label briefly, TerraVision just announced that they're putting out Sledgehammer, I think, on Blu-ray. And in my mind, I'm like, why would you waste your time and resources to release, admittedly, a horrible shot on video movie? Some of them can be fun, but this is just a really shit movie that already has a fine DVD from Severin. There's no reason to put out another version of this movie for. I mean, they have a subscription model too. So if you were subscribed to that, you'd be like, oh, fuck, now I have to get another copy of Stupid Sledgehammer on Blu-ray. Why would I want that? They're making bad choices. And I think every label's doing that. Like, yeah, 88 Films. 88 Films and Severin almost released the same type movies. Or is it Eureka? I think it's 88 Films. Like, they're releasing the same, 4K announced of what is it, Eaten Alive or whatever. Well, then 88's gonna have it. And I don't get why, especially for 4K, which is region free. I don't get why there's such a cannibalizing of the same material over and over and over to the point you're like, well, then they bank on the people that are completists and want to buy everything. But honestly, I think that's a real horrible choice to make. And I think companies are just going to be sitting on copies of shit that, Arrow has a good release of it, so nobody's buying our upgraded, 4K with a booklet from some guy who really likes it. I think it's, I think the market in general is really taking a hit, and I'm surprised it hasn't collapsed yet. The bubble has not burst yet, but I think, especially with tariffs, if people have to import shit, party's over.
Yeah, the big T word. Poison to talk about on the streams. But no, I mean, it's gotten expensive. It's gotten rough for a lot of stuff. 88 Films, by the way, and Severin, this has been going on for years. This is not, and like, go back like around 4 or 5 years, there was cannibalizing each other's titles back then, and it seemed like there was an actual beef between both of the companies because of that. And I think it started maybe slightly after Callum went over. It went from Arrow to 88 Films. Not that they had anything to do with it. It's just around that time period there, they started to shift the type of films that they were doing. I do love the way the 88 Films does sub-labels. I think they do a better job of that than Vinegar Syndrome, because what's the VSA? There was a time I could tell you, but it got to a point where I'm like, I don't know anymore. Anything. I guess anything can be. It's like that Xbox. Anything's an Xbox. Anything's a VSA. Like, any release can be a VSA. I guess next week's 2 can be a VSA. Just cause, right?
Absolutely. 4K.
And I was buying all VSAs. I was like, oh, I'm there. I love this scoop. That's kind of like back of the video shelf type of feel, and they're going through, and I'm getting them all, and I like a lot of them, and even that horrible Dr. Jekyll one, and a few of those. And to get to America, what's it, Fortress KKK, whatever the hell that. Yeah. And I'm like, dudes, you've been putting out trauma stuff for years within your regular line. What makes this special that it should be a VSA? Absolutely nothing. And I put poison on the VSA in that second, and I didn't buy it. It means nothing anymore. Like, trauma belonged in there. They were doing trauma stuff for years. Look at God, what's the name of that one with Stacey Haddock in it?
Luther the Geek.
Yeah, I love that film. One, because he does a good job, and 2, Stacey Haddock decides, I think I'm going to get nude for almost half the movie, and I'm down. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing. And if the titles are like Dark Half and potentially either Sentinel or Jessica, Scare Jessica to Death. Like Scare Jessica to Death is 100% my favorite out of all those titles. I think that's a severely underrated title. I don't think anybody talks about it. But still, as a guy that loves that film, I got a Scream Factory edition upstairs. I really don't think I need like to upgrade it. I think I've got it. Like, it's good. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. And Dark Half, again, I got a Scream Factory edition upstairs. It's fine. I bought it at Monkey Shines. I think it was Monkey Shines at the same time because it came out, Ramiro ones came out at the same time. Who knows? Maybe Monkey Shines. There you go. It's Dark Half and Monkey Shines, guys. Two Ramiros that Scream Factory put out. And they're going to put them out eventually. Monkey Shines is going to come too. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Jessica movie. I'd only seen it once, but I was underwhelmed. I mean, maybe a rewatch will improve my feeling on it, but I'm not moved by that if that's the release. So if I was subscribed and I got them, like, all right, I guess I'll watch it and see if it's fine. Dark Half, yeah, I think it's a solid movie, but I wouldn't rush out to get a 4K. Reverse to where you started in terms of the VSA line and sort of their sub labels. It is almost now a running joke how they trample on their own sub labels to the point that there's almost no point for them. VSA, was initially the video store era. So they had, corny action movies, really, really crap, horror movies. And all right, this is kind of, gone are the days of LA Wars. We're never going to get that back, or Action USA, which is probably the last really great one they released. Now it's mostly, Vinegar Syndrome Asia, because it almost seems like every release is an Asian title. I don't have a problem with that, but it feels like it's going against what VSA kind of initially stood for, which is American video store junk. Now it's just nonsense. It's just all over the place. And they did it with Cinematograph. Cinematograph, started out with being, okay, so it's sort of a Criterion thing. They're putting out introspective drama, dramedies, more kind of adult, TCM, Turner Classic Movies kind of a thing. Okay, cool. That's their thing. It's not really, the stuff that interests me that I want to buy, but I get what the label is. And then they drop Zone into the mix. You're like, what the hell? How is this not a VSU? They just nuked any flavor that line had by dropping Drop Zone in it. And that thing was a VSU. So my mind is, are they trying to get completionists to have to get everything? Like, is that their point? But there's no rhyme or reason to their, and VSL, don't even get me started. Started off really strong with old classic movies, and now it seems like it's just Russian and Polish movies, like they're trying to rip off Deaf Crocodile. It's a mess.
Look at, like, when you want to see like sub-labels done right, go to Umbrella and look at Sunburnt Screens or Beyond Genres or there's Cinema, Cinemas, basically type of titles. Those, they stick with what it is. If I get a Sunburnt Screens, I know it's like a die in the like hard type of like Australian film. If I get the Ozploitation stuff, it's an Ozploitation film. If I get the Beyond Genres, it's going with the Beyond Genre style of stuff. If I get a VSU, I don't know what the hell I'm getting from one month to the other. And let's not forget that when it comes to subscriptions, none of these sub-labels are included in your subscriptions, my friends. Now, you pay extra for that aside from what you're paying for your subscription. So if you got a subscription, you're still paying extra for the VSUs, the VSLs, VSPs, the VSAs, and the VS X, Y, and Zs.
And you're not getting much of a discount, by the way. I think a lot of people are like, oh man, you get it for half off. Yeah. Incorrect. You get $8 off. At least that's what it was. Maybe it's $8.99 now, but you only get $8 off. It's a half off of the MSRP, which is a trumped up number that they threw on there. So it's one of those things that's like, well, then do I give you $1,000 just to save $8 on Navy SEALs or whatever, or do I just save my money and like, oh, I want Navy SEALs, I'll wait for a sale and get it at a regular, normal, standard $25 price. I think that's the smarter move.
I think I was the only person that was excited when Navy SEALs when it came out, and I still about it.
I like Navy SEALs. I think it's great.
I saw in theater when I was in college, so it was kind of
Same.
We got asked before if we saw Golden Child in theater. I did. I'm guessing you did too, right back in the day.
I did, yeah. I was big into Axel Foley, so anything Eddie Murphy was in, I had to watch.
Back, the good days of Eddie Murphy when there was like a lot of great stuff. Any suggestions for people that are going to buy stuff from the sale?
Man, we'd have to look at the site to sort of pinpoint, because I forget now. I'm not really up on where the cutoff begins for the newer stuff. I think Navy SEALs is on sale finally. But look at the stock. If it's over 1,000, I'm not touching it. That's going to be a subscriber title for sure. I'll wait for subscriber sale. That would be my biggest suggestion is if it's over 1,000, wait for subscriber week. If it's not subscriber week, then just wait a couple more months for Black Friday. If it hasn't sold out, it's not going anywhere anytime fast. So just kind of hang out. If there's something under 1,000 or maybe even under 500 and you really want it, then get it. But people need to be very judicious because there are other labels that are putting out better things you might want. Especially the second half of the year is always the meatiest. So I would say look at the stock count and maybe look up a review on YouTube or look up the trailer. At least watch the trailer, get a feel for it. I'm always a TBYB guy. Try before you buy, but that's my.
I'd say right now, look, there's a section on Vinegar Syndrome's website for stuff that is going out of print, like completely, that aren't just limited stock, but there's a section for things that are going out of print that they don't have the rights to anymore. And there are some titles you can look at and you can say, okay, another company is going to put this out. And there's other titles like Disconnected that I don't think is going to get another release anytime in the near future by any company. So if it's not a good film, but I like that film, and there's some good features on there as well. There's a good like student film that he did called 20 Questions. That's really freaking good. So if you want that one, that's actually really low, and that's going out of print. Actually, a little video. I'll put it on here where I look at the website before it went down, because now it is down, and maybe I'll stop in between. But so you guys know a little bit of what's going on here. So this is me from the past. I'm future Aaron now. Hello, future me. Hello, MasterChaos, and everybody that's there. There's a lot of you, right? Where it's going nuts in the chat right now. Anyway, there's the sale. That's what we're talking about. And I'm going to shut up because let's look at the limited editions that a lot of you guys are going to be vying for. Because right now it's the future and the sale is shut down and we can't see this. So diving into this, I'm going to shut up because I want you guys to be able to talk about it. And I know that Jose is going to want to talk about this and look at some titles. So let's just put them up on the screen. And we're going to sort by old to new, because that's usually the best way to do it for these things. This way you can see what's still available, what's not. So I'm about to disappear from the screen here. Thankfully, we can see some of the titles that are there that are available. Nothing Underneath is right there, and Too Beautiful to Die. I like that one, but I think there's a lot of those left. Stuff like the Camille Keaton box set that MasterChaos is such a massive fan of. Sells over 2,000 copies. We got Trauma again. I'm a Argento shill, so I'll always go for that. Scary at 61st. That's crap. Forgotten Jelly, a couple of volumes are getting low. So if you're into the Forgotten Jelly stuff, you want to get them. Now, they will come back again as streamlined sets. That's what they've done with the original sets. Moon of the Wolf is one that is going out of print as well, by the way. A lot of these titles here, like, I'll be honest, there's nothing here like I kind of want the Homegrown Horror Farm 2 set, but there's a lot left. I can wait. Like it's one I can wait on. Evil Laugh, not a good film. Objectively, not a well-made film. But I'm a slasher fan, so I'll eventually watch it. Again, Terror Killer. Again, another crappy film that is going to suck me in one of these days for like really, really cheap. But it's got to be really, really cheap. Spanish Bloodbath. While I get on my Spanish. Oh, I do want Little Darlings. I haven't seen that one in years. Phase 4 is Saul Bass's only directed film. That's a thought. But you can see, like, out of the stuff that's here, there's not a ton of things, like, for me anyway, that intrigues me. Like, I got to go buy this right now. I like Devil Times 5, for instance. But I can wait till Black Friday. By then, maybe. Last sale that there was, I bought comic books, not films. I read the nurse stuff. Here's the print section. You can see there's Amityville films there. We got Last Gasp is going, Penitentiary 2 is going, but that'll get picked up by somebody else. So there we go. Hopefully that's been interesting, and we've been chatting up during this whole thing, but I guess I'm seeing you right now. Booyah. There we go. Quick and easy and painless. And in under 5 minutes. Because there wasn't a lot there. There was nothing for you. As I'm filming this video, I'm like, man, there's nothing I want to stop at. There's not literally like very little I want to stop at to look at the numbers or anything like that. Normally I'd go through slowly, look at all the numbers and all this type of thing. This video would have been like 20 minutes longer than it is right now. But I will like getting through that as quickly as possible, but still getting the site stuff there. I said, okay, if it's something people are really interested in, they'll tell me in the chat. I'll pause it, stop it, that type of thing. But I'll be honest, there's not a lot MasterChaos that I'm super stoked about, even in the going out of print section. And I didn't know that was a section until I filmed this thing.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to buy, then absolutely do going out of print in terms of stuff you want. There used to be a time where, and I fell into this trap where I wanted to have the entire Vinegar Syndrome line, and I did at one point. I'll put up to a certain point. I wanted to. I got to make sure I grab that. I got to make sure. This is selling out. I got to grab. Telephone book, which I didn't like. I gotta make sure I get Pale Blood and whatever. Another one I didn't like, but there was a thirst for the collecting, the completionist angle of it. I lost that real fucking fast, and it became a thing where I'm gonna buy what interests me. So don't be swayed by stock counts. Don't be swayed, by a cheaper price. Make sure that what you're buying is something you're going to enjoy, even if you watch it once but you liked it. Hey, okay, that was a successful buy. But I think what what kills the spirit of physical media in general is that that rabid collecting thing. Like, oh, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy that, I gotta buy this, I gotta buy that, and then you'll never see it. It just sits on your shelf and rots, and it's just like, yay, you got the high of buying it, and you have this box over there, but the movie doesn't get to be a movie. And I think buy with the goal of, I want to watch this, and not I want to own this. And I think, it's like, you follow your heart in your cinema goal, and I think you won't fall into the trap of a Vinegar Syndrome completionist, which is what they want you to be. That's why they release whatever on whatever label, because they just want people to buy it. And Six String Samurai is a good example of them shitting on their subgenre, their sub labels, because you get Beastmaster and then we get that, and you're like, what the hell?
The
is
second
this?
one too, like, that's a really shit on.
Killed it immediately.
But,
insane.
I'm thinking Cookie Tin. Maybe Cookie Tin.
Cookie Tin, there you go.
So that it's so useful.
Small
It's got
cookies.
like the magnet. And like for the Cardona one, like if I don't have a magnet nearby and I want, like, got like something I need to put on the refrigerator, bam, there's a magnet in this. So there you go. Most expensive fridge magnet ever.
Oh man, God, what a and I applaud them for trying to be, interesting and unique with their packaging. I think that's great. But they need to be more judicious and smart about the movies they pick and foist on the audience, because that really 100% that kills enjoyment in collecting and interest in the line itself.
They've been one of the lucky companies that, and I talked about this in a few videos. By the way, guys, I do videos on collecting on here that I'm super proud of, so please check them out, especially the last one I did. But they've been one of the lucky companies like Criterion that has a higher perceived value than a lot of other companies because of the name and the goodwill they've gotten over the years. But a lot of that is starting to wear thin. Whereas Criterion has still been able to coast on that film school in a box and keep true to what Criterion is overall. Vinegar Syndrome there's a lot of like hands and a lot of little pots. There's like too many cooks spoil the broth type of thing. And I get that you have to like grow and evolve to hopefully keep your company going. But sometimes, and this did sort of happen to Arrow for a little bit, in that when Arrow started, they were like a UK-based company mostly. And if you're a fan of Arrow Video back in the day, you were on Cult Labs forum, which is where they did all their announcements and all this stuff at, and everybody knew each other. Eventually, they just went away from Cult Labs, went on, created a Facebook page, and then started changing the titles that they did. And so Arrow did a lot of like slashers and giallos and all this type of stuff, and just kind of fringe stuff, and they changed. And a lot of people that see Arrow later like are unaware of that. But for a lot of us, we felt like, okay, they're forgetting us. And I do feel like for Vinegar Syndrome right now, there's a lot of people, and it was mentioned here at the beginning of the stream, coming full circle, that a lot of people that have been collecting Vinegar Syndrome for a while feel like they've been forgotten. That the stuff that they like about Vinegar Syndrome is being put out by everybody but Vinegar Syndrome. And I've seen other companies like do more successful branching out. I think Severin is a company that's been way more successful with its branching out. They put out Overboard. They put out a Michael Lee film, and for some reason, it still fit, even though you couldn't get that slip cover off of Overboard. But I remember the video, man.
Oh yeah,
I gotta this stuff. But yeah, Severin I think is going to better. I do think that if you're looking at like Halfay sales, Severin's upcoming sale has some really good, interesting stuff to look at.
Severin is a company that I know them a little bit. They're really nice guys, and they've always been true to who they are. I don't think, even if they release Mike Lee and stuff like that, which is a great film. They release Peter Greenaway movies. They've certainly branched out, but they've never forgotten who they were, and it's the kind of the sleazy little bootleg place. That's always been their flavor, and and now with the Russ Meyer movie, I mean, they've done the Lord's work by releasing 5 of those in beautiful 4Ks. Which, look, by the way, if you get those, it does a disservice to the ladies. I'll say that much. You see too much sometimes, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I need to see that. But they, they're still who they are. They haven't changed, and I do appreciate that they have that flavor. Their prices are kind of crazy sometimes, but they still have that love of the genre cinema, where I feel Vinegar Syndrome sometimes wants to be, MGM or Lionsgate or whatever, and they've forgotten the weirdo little movies that at least the OGs came for. They may not have been great movies, and most times they were not, but those are the movies that need to get championed, the lost, forgotten movies, not another release of Dark Half and Golden Child. As much as I like those movies, I would rather see something that I may hate, but would have been lost to time if it wasn't for somebody, rescuing it.
Unless it's the Ripper. Fuck the Ripper.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, De Gausser in general is just. De Gausser in general is a big middle finger to TerrorVision. At least that's what it feels like. It's like, oh, you leave us, we're doing the same thing you guys are doing. That's exactly what it feels like. Because I know at one point, this is sort of inside knowledge. I'm not gonna say who told me, but TerrorVision had Iced, and then Vinegar Syndrome ended up with it. I don't know what happened, but that was originally the. Or not TerrorVision. Cult. Oh gosh, Cult Releasing. I'm blanking on their name now. Culture Shock. Culture Shock had it at one point, and then something happened. So, they're definitely sniping TerrorVision's, business model.
See, I would say for Iced, that really sounds like a much better TerrorVision title than a Vinegar Syndrome title right now, because I do like Sledgehammer. It's not the worst of the shot. It's one of the better bad shot video. Like, it's like Things, right? It's like, it's not good going
Things is better.
Things is, I'm Canadian, so I'm a bias towards that. Like, because then 1989 year, graduate from high school, it is like, it's got that sequence where Buddy has the bread sandwich, and I'm like, and I hire a porn actress to stand in front of a screen and not take her clothes off, but to read fake news, like, because that's what you do.
Great, yeah.
Porn actress. It is so inept, and I've watched it so many motherfucking times. You have no idea. Anybody that comes into this house, my better half too. Like, she's like, we got to show them Things. We got to watch Things. My kids came. It's like, they're watching Things. we had just gotten Things. Like, I'll watch it again. I suffered. They're gonna suffer. And we did that with that one. And a TerrorVision put out later on that I wish I could have worked on, actually, was a Nail Gun Massacre, because I'm a massive Nail Gun Massacre person. If you're an old school fan of my channel, had a podcast on here called the $1.98 Special, which is from a scene from Nail Gun Massacre, because they have the $1.98 Special on a sign with written exactly what's in the special, and he orders it, and they come to the car with nothing that's on that sign, with a completely different order, and I'm like, it's right the fuck there on the sign. And it bothered me so much that when I did like the little podcast thing for a bit, that's what my podcast was called.
That's a classic. I mean, and that's a movie, I think. I mean, I don't know if a 4K of that would do it any justice, but I mean, I think that's a movie that,
No.
yeah. And that's the thing. 4K for a lot of these movies will just make them look rougher, because you just bring up the grain, and then you kind of like, it doesn't make it clean and crisp. It just kind of essentially brightens everything up, and you kind of see the things that you're not kind of supposed to see. I'm with I mean, I'm with Cronenberg. He's very much a digital guy. He goes, working with film is hard and it's terrible and it's a lot of work and it's not worth it. I much prefer digital. I'm kind of with him on that, because if you did a 4K of a digital movie, you would have a nice clean image because you wouldn't have the grain, which I know a lot of people love, but I think that's more of a nostalgia thing than a aesthetic thing. I don't think you need the grain, to be honest. And I'm saying that as a filmmaker. I feel sometimes it makes the movie look too noisy and it kind of works against it.
So one of these days you're going to meet Tarantino on the road. He's going to, you and him are going to have fists.
You know,
of film.
Hey, it's fine for him. I mean, luckily he's able to afford to work with film too, because it's not, especially nowadays, it's not cheap to be able to do film. And then just the post process is different, not just processing, but you know, and most people don't even edit on film anymore. So you would edit digitally anyway, and it would just cut to film. So it's there's ooh. Was that me?
Editing was so much. Both. It probably could have been me, actually. Editing was different. Like when I started, well, I went to school for journalism, and I used to edit a lot of, like, we had like a program that we did for the college campus and stuff, and we did like different like things. We had to do like a short film, so I made this film called Sex Talk. And it got on campus. But the editing back then was not like on a computer. Like we had an editing room, like a literal, like a big room in the corner part of the university. And I would go in there, and we had the big thing for like editing and like fusing like together and stuff, which was massively different. Like when I had started to edit, like on here, I had to relearn how to edit again. And it was so much easier. Like working with different like tracks and like being able to put different tracks out and like just go from here and there, and that is so much more fun. Do you like editing, by the way, as a filmmaker? Do you like there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I did some flatbed editing when we shot 16 in film school. My second movie was shot on 35, so I have the experience with the film. And editing for me, I sometimes I just don't have the patience for it, and I like to be more like the puppet master behind the scenes, saying, "Ooh, I know there's a close up of this that we shot on that day. See if you can find it." And then my editor will go, who's much quicker. He'll find it. Okay, well, here's the close up. Okay, how many takes did we do? I think there might have been 2. I think she says the line again. Let's do the second version of that. I like to be able to do that instead of having to work the controls and, you know, find the clips and all that, because I'm not very organized. So I prefer to just sort of like tell people what to do and sit and, you know, backseat drive, basically.
I would like, if I had to go back and do anything in like film right now, because I wanted to act. That was my thing. I grew up like doing acting. Did a lot of stage work. Right now, though, I want to be behind that camera, like somewhere, whether it's editing or whatever. I don't want to be like too much in front of the camera. Says the guy on YouTube with over 2,000 videos. But it's true. I definitely, you know, I envy you for that. Like you're in such a good place right now. And I've been watching your films before I knew I was watching your films. That's the thing, because I didn't know, you know, wasn't able to put it together. And I had like this, like, it was like a haunted house film. It was an early one that you did.
Yeah.
And I watched like the growth in what you've done, and it's been incredible, by the way. Exorcist is still one of my favorites. That just like something with that one just like rang with me. And
that's great.
Well,
I'm doing a sequel. I'm doing a sequel at the end of the year.
I know. I want. You got to come back on for that. We got to talk about that.
And hey,
by the way,
I'm serious. If you want to fly to LA, I'll put you in it. You can play a priest.
Yeah, I would, if I could get there. I definitely would. Here, I got a suggestion for you. If you want to watch Let's Scare Jessica to Death again, this may be one of the things that helped me enjoy it. So, Haunted Hippie.
Okay.
Watch it either with her or like she'd watch it. Because I know that when I watched Let's Scare Jessica to Death, that's how I watched it. With a little assistance, and where I was at, that was legal. So whatever.
I see what you're saying.
Uh,
I see what you're saying. Okay. I see. I can't though. I don't think, as a filmmaker, I
oh,
don't
really?
want somebody to have to be altered to watch my movies. I think the movie should be the substance that changes
Oh,
a
but there's
person. That's my opinion.
yeah. I mean, certain films, Ralph Bakshi, like I can see that. I had
Yeah.
I won't say who, but I had a relative when I was growing up, and she had this most amazing black like type of poster thing, and with all the different pictures and stuff on it. And I was like, wow, this is such a weird poster. I wonder what that's for. And I didn't know 2 years later, oh, that's one of those posters that you just see what you see at certain times. Anyway, I should get away. Kids, say no to drugs.
I don't think there's any kids on here. I mean, I'd be very surprised.
Cheech. I had the Cheech and Chong album actually. Acapulco Gold filters.
I believe it. I believe it, man. Look, Malcolm wants to start a GoFundMe to get you over here to LA to be in the movie.
There you go. See, that's what you need to do. Join
go,
my
start doing it, guys.
GoFundMe. You want to see me you want to see my hot takes on reviewing some of these titles? Get me at a point where I can afford to buy these titles, and you'll see this type of conversation on these films. Because much more fun to be able to. I'll be honest with you, to just be myself when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And sometimes I feel like I haven't always been able to I've always been me, but where I felt a lot of pressure to for certain films, and now I'm I am 54 years old. Fuck that. I'm gonna say what I want to say. There you go, Corinne. Thank you. Win that lotto, Corinne.
Yeah, keep buying those tickets. That's the thing. Look, on YouTube, what you have is your personality, right? And I'm looking at a camera right now. But there's I don't know how many people right now watching us. But you try to assume that connection with the other person, and the only thing you can bring to the table is your honesty. And I think, I'm not going to name names, but there are some YouTubers that are absolutely shills, and I think the audience knows that. I think the audience picks up on things like that. And they're like, "Ooh, I don't like this guy because he's like, oh man, this is great. You got to pick it up. Look, it's got an interview from the second AD who got lunch one day. Oh man, this is gonna be fantastic. It's never looked better. Go get a fourth copy of Practical Magic." It's Practical Magic is a good movie, but I'm just using that as an example. But I think
my better half's favorite movies.
it's a good movie, but I'm just saying, for some reason that came to me. But I think you have to be as honest as you can with your audience, because that's the you want to build that trust, you want to build that rapport. And if you're the guy that loves everything, then you are you're absolutely gonna be, the bullshit meter is gonna go off for everybody watching you, and you don't want that. You want people to respect you, even if they don't agree. And again, Aaron and I rarely agree on a film. I think we both hate Surf 2, so there's that. But that's what movies are. Movies shouldn't be the everyone loves this, because movies are subjective. It's a piece of art. Right, we're gonna all see it differently, and I think that's the beauty of it. And a painting is different. We can all agree, oh, that's a pretty painting. But a movie has emotion and music and motion and light and performance, and it's every art form smashed into one. and you can't all have the same appeal. And I think, you know, giving a dissenting opinion, well, you got to back it up. Oh, it sucked. Why did it suck? Well, I felt they made the wrong choice story-wise. I felt this actor, wasn't believable. You know, if you can give a constructive criticism, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a powerful tool, and I think it only helps cinema and cinema appreciation get better.
100%. When I started, like, I would only review a lot of movies that I liked. Like people said, why do you like all the movies? Because I'm not wasting time on movies that I don't like. And that was like a big part of my channel initially. Was that okay? Because at that point I was getting offered like review copies from different companies, and I was turning them down. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really like this film. Or this doesn't interest me. And I take a lot more chances now because it's a lot more fun to me to be able to like just talk stuff. And they have like somebody on here like you or Malcolm and guys like that on here that like we're not going to agree. And I think like growing up, I watched Siskel and Ebert like all the time, and they were like, and they still are. They're like the gold standard, right? Of like movie. Thumbs up, thumbs down, guys. That they created that. Like that wasn't a thing before them.
And they hated each other too. They were not friends.
Oh my God, yes. And I loved so many of the films that they hated, but they were so good at putting a review. Like Roger Ebert was a masterful writer. His reviews, if you read his reviews, are freaking awesome. Siskel was a decent reviewer and a good on-camera guy, but Roger Ebert was the writer. There's a reason they didn't win a Pulitzer. But that's what I like seeing, and that's what I don't see so much. Like people say, well, there's YouTube reviews and all this type of stuff now. It's not as simple as you think now to get genuine or to get ones that kind of like don't, because here's the thing. You don't have to align with my tastes. Anybody watching it doesn't align with the stuff that I like. But the thing with Siskel and Ebert, the thing with guys that you do like watch and you say, okay, I think I'm going to like the movie, even though that person didn't like it, is because you knew from what they watched and what they did, what they liked and why they liked it. And I think that's important for here and for us is when I watch you talking about a film, and a lot of times I know when you're not going to like it, and that's just something more entertaining than a film that you love. But I know why, and I can say, oh yeah, I know what he's going to say, kind of, or to an extent, I know why he doesn't like it because it's genuine, as opposed to like hating on something for like, okay, I don't like this movie because there's a certain actor in it.
Oh, froze.
Oh no, I've been like, for a second, I guess one of the movie studios realized I might have said them. And
taking it down.
Oh, Siskel and Ebert, you have to understand, Siskel and Ebert came out around the time before slashers existed, Maddie, and they saw everything in the theater. So imagine being Siskel and Ebert and going from seeing like, I don't know, Midnight Cowboy, one of the 25 million slasher films that were coming out every week at that point. Yeah, I can understand the pain Siskel and Ebert went through when it came to some of the slasher stuff. I love them, but I had the luxury of watching them when I wanted to, not have to watch them in the theater. Because my job depended on it.
Yeah, I don't understand Siskel's or Ebert's, I should say, his appraisal of cinema, because he worked with Russ Meyer, and he wrote a lot of Russ Meyer movies, and under some clever dialogue here and there, but they're not Oscar-winning scripts. They're not, none of that. But he still seemed to, he worked in that genre, but he still seemed to thumb his nose at bizarro cinema in a weird way. And almost like he was, I mean, maybe he just had a hatred against horror movies in general, but I think you have to have some appreciation of the work to be able to critique it, especially if you've worked in it. but it feels like he almost was thumbing his nose at everything, which is kind of strange. I mean, he did like, if I remember correctly, he did like Scream. He found that to be, I think that's one of the last movies they did on their show. He found that to be good and a worthwhile movie. But so Ebert, he was kind of a seesaw where he landed, but usually he was very pissy about things. Siskel was definitely the the outraged grandma type. He wasn't really into some crazy shit, but every once in a while you would get surprised by something he really liked, and Ebert would be like, "What? You like this?" And I love those moments. Those moments made me happy.
Cisco was more the feminist type. So when it was like a woman in peril type film and he felt it was done wrong, that's when he saw Cisco like really kind of hating on a film. That's why he hated the Friday 13 films. But he did like some weird out there cinema. Roger Ebert was much more like, if the lady was really attractive, you might be swayed more than like Cisco would be when it came to certain films, which makes sense that, having worked with like Russ Meyer, that he would like, that I think Roger Ebert had certain crushes too for certain actresses that would slightly sway him sometimes.
Oh yeah,
A lot of critics say more. It's true. I mean, like,
yeah, some inside scooping, which is it's in Russ Meyer's biographies and things like that. But apparently, Roger Ebert would get paid to write the scripts with booze and a chance to sleep with a big-breasted woman. Like that would be how Russ Meyer would pay him. So that's, I mean, it's hard to turn down, I guess. But that was his screenwriting fee back in the day.
I got to go look back again at like what films that he wrote, and then like you just got to wonder, like, did Roger Ebert hit that? It's like the question.
Most likely, yes.
That comes from, yeah, there's not enough. See, it may be like, iffy to say right now, but I do miss that type of cinema being made. Like I do miss the sexploitation like aspects of cinema, because I do think that that can still be done right. And there's like great like Oscar winning stuff like Anora that came out, and I think that does have certain elements in there that kind of lean back towards that, but obviously in a different like context than that. But I miss those old school like kind of innocent stuff. Like Russ Meyer stuff, it's crazy as well. So as much nudity as it had, it was fairly innocent. Like
it was violent.
Like there's a documentary that's sexploitation, right? And it goes through the whole thing with Frank Henenlotter, and he's going through like the nudie cuties and like the all those like really kind of like the earlier stuff, and then it gets to the point where when it becomes like pornography, when it becomes XXX, and there's such a whiplash of like difference in like the intention for the film, and like when it becomes from like having a story for like, because look at Vinegar Syndrome did a lot of the adult stuff initially, and they moved it on as like the Redheaded Stepchild moved on to another website called Millicene, so they don't, because he cannot be associated with X-rated titles on their site anymore. But there was like good stuff. There was like stuff that was made with a story and a plot to it, and at X-rated scenes. And that was done back then because you had to be able to take a film, take the scenes, and maybe get it for cable or for television and get into like other types of theaters. By the time the 80s came out and we had VHS, then things became more compilation based, and story was like just taken to the wayside. Random like side rant there. I'm not sure where that came from, but hey.
Should we turn the conversation back around to VS?
My God, yeah, what, Vinegar Syndrome? Are we talking about Vinegar Syndrome on here?
Right,
yes, we should. I got
to.
You talk away. Get Vinegar Syndrome. See if you have questions there. Let's talk about titles.
Well, the thing we haven't addressed, Malcolm's mentioned in the chat, is the action. Excuse me, the VSA action triple feature that's coming. Some Asian trilogy. We don't know what it is. Maybe Malcolm has an idea. I don't know, but that's coming. That's a VSA that's coming. I know we're I think we're getting another cinematograph, which honestly could be anything. A couple things have been hinted at, but at this point, it most likely it'll be some kind of studio drama that 10 people have seen. But we'll get it either in a Blu-ray or a 4K, which has also been inconsistent with that label. I can't say I'm excited for the lineup, but I'm excited for the reveal and the chat. That's always fun.
The reveal is always the fun part. Yeah, we're getting 2 secret Vinegar Syndrome titles, 1 VSA, 1 VSL, 1 Negasser, 1 Cinematography, but I'm not sure what it is.
Cinematograph is what I call
new
it.
merch items, and a chance to win a film canister care package. Then that's what we'll go. Malcolm says he thinks it's Iron Angels.
Okay.
For that trilogy.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm familiar with the name, but I haven't seen it. So, I mean, I hope it's good. I have seen some really good, stuff on the Asian side of VSA. So, hope it's good.
Where does the brownie come into play? I'm trying to remember if there's a brownie in like Let's Go
You're
Just
right.
Get to Death
There is a brownie which was very it has nothing to do with Jade, it has nothing to do with Golden Child. There's oatmeal, but maybe it's like a pop brownie. I think there might be brownies in Dirty Work, but I haven't seen that in a while.
The type of brownie that you need to eat when you're watching Let's Go Just Get to Death.
Oh man, I just think I'd fall asleep. Honestly, true fact. I've never taken drugs. I've never been high in my life. I've been drunk, but I've never taken mind altering substances beyond alcohol. So I don't know what it
never,
would do.
not even. Probably not a lot, really. Yeah, like alcohol would do more to you in a lot of cases when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the closest I've come to being messed up. So what do you think about VSL?
No, it's like,
what do you think?
Shipping.
Go ahead.
VSL? I don't know. I mean, like, what could it be? Do we know? Like, do we have any idea, anybody, on what the VSL could be?
I don't even think there was hints for it. It could be anything from like some European, backwater thing, or it could be a classic movie, but they haven't done that in a while. So, there's nothing for VSL.
Yeah, there's not a clues there. A lot of clues, Melissa, when it comes out. I'm just going to bring up the because I got an email from them today.
Oh, there was a new email. Apparently, there's nothing new in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, like they talk about they're being 80% sold already. Their revenge is so sweet. Maybe that's what that brownie is for. They talk about the fact that there's going to be like a sale on the Miss Selena stuff as well.
Malcolm's excited,
but there's not a lot of confirmation on the on the titles. They're just saying like secret titles. Back in the day, they put in like some nice, interesting clues that would enable you to like kind of guess it. I remember one of their first sales. I had the Vinegar Syndrome website up, and I didn't close it, and so I hadn't refreshed it. So for some reason, when they put the new titles in, on my screen, I was living in St. John's at the time, and so I'm here and I do YouTube, and like I'm seeing like the new titles that are coming out, and it's like a few hours before it starts. So I'm like, I can't. I can't.
Oh,
man. I'm not going to say a damn.
You should have said something, man. Oh man, that would have been. It's all for the views, brother. You gotta get that information out there.
Yeah, Flesh and Fantasy. That type I want to see.
That was great.
I want to see.
That was my favorite thing.
Like if it's like a Polish film or Czechoslovakian film, I want to see Deaf Crocodile do that because I know that they do that stuff right, and that is their wheelhouse. If it's a shot on video, if it's like one of those type of films, I want to see Television do that because I know that's what they do. like there's a lot of stuff the Vinegar Syndrome, especially with got the reach and the money right now, that they can do, that they can do without taking away from companies that are probably a lot smaller. You know, if
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
To answer Melissa's question, she asked, "It's sold without anyone knowing it." Yeah. So the way the Black Friday sale works normally is they'll hint at most of their lineup, but they'll reveal 2 or 3 titles, and then they'll ask you to blind buy. Because you'll save on shipping, or you'll get, you'll save maybe $2 on the movie, and then you get shipped first. But you will have to buy without knowing what the hell you're getting, and that's kind of the subscription model. At the end of the day, you're buying without knowing, and I think I just don't see how that makes sense anymore. Especially, what if it isn't Dark Half? What if it's disconnected 4K? I like that movie, but I don't need it on 4K.
Nobody
What if
disconnected on
it's
4K.
right? I mean, it wouldn't look great. What if it's Pale Blood, 4K? Well, I don't think I need that. So, anything's possible. Anything's possible. But the subscription model, I think, is dying out.
It's less and less viable as things get more and more expensive. Subscriptions are inevitably going to get more expensive, and it's going to price even like diehards out of being able to get it, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And there's some great stuff there. Melissa said she'd like to see Swing Kids get released. So I'm a massive musical person. Not like musicals, like I got tone in my voice or anything like that. I don't, but I love like musicals. So anything with
funny?
music. Oh no, my dad is a musician.
That's great. What does he play?
Everything. Like my dad could pick up any instrument, play it. Like he mostly he played guitar and he played bass and he played piano, stuff like that. He plays by ear too.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, musicals is a genre that has not been touched at all in the boutique space. That's something that maybe VSM and they can release musicals and then all of a sudden release something that's not a musical. Why not?
I haven't seen Sinners yet. Like I got to still see it. I watched Final Destination. I thought it was really, really good. It had a story, which was a massive difference from Final Destination, because I love Final Destination movies, but they're not usually story-based films. This one was. Sinners, I really want to see. That's my type of film, and I like Ryan Coogler, so anything Ryan Coogler I'm watching.
Sinners is great. The one thing I'll say is, it's From Dusk Till Dawn, just set in sort of the Prohibition, segregation time, but it's From Dusk Till Dawn. I like the movie, but its DNA is absolutely From Dusk Till Dawn, to the point that there's an Asian person trapped in the thing. It's about 2 criminal brothers. I mean, I'm shocked that so many people are calling it an original movie, because it's From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's a good movie. I'm not going to take that away from it.
So Christian Bale. He also did an actual musical, Melissa, called Newsies, when he was like young. I love swing music, so I love anything when it comes to 90% of the day when I'm here by myself, guys, like I'll be editing stuff and I'll be working on stuff, and there's like music playing in the background, and I could be dancing. Like I have headphones on, editing a video and dancing around and singing badly at the top of my lungs with my poor neighbors. Have I seen Ghost of Sierra years ago? I have not seen the Kino one. I really need to get that, actually.
Sounds good.
So like I said, I love like TV horror. I'm sure you got this one.
I haven't seen that one, but it sounds great. That sounds right up my alley.
I think we are still doing the live. If I am actually, well, I'm gonna have to sleep after this. So yeah, I'm supposed to be going live here with Malcolm at 5 a.m. in the morning for me. So pray for me.
So you are going live as well?
I think I've been, like I told, MasterChaos knows this, nobody else does. Off camera, before I came on here, I wasn't feeling well. I got all spacey and stuff. I have epilepsy, my friends, and unfortunately, there are times when that hits me, and then it's like when it happens afterwards, I'm very much a kind of shell of. I'm very weak, per se, and I have been for this entire video. So, hopefully, that hasn't come across. I've been trying to
No.
keep that. I've come across as not being sick, but I've been a little sick. So I'm going to try, but I'm not quite sure.
Well,
So
I'll
watch
say
out
this.
for it.
I will be going live. Malcolm, if Aaron is under the weather and he can't do it, you're welcome to hop on and just reach out to me and you can join us. But Aaron, definitely prioritize your health, man. I think that's more important than waking up at the ass crack of dawn to talk about movies nobody wants.
Especially if it comes out to be fucking dark half, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I invited on your
wants
channel if I'm
at
a
that
make?
price.
If I don't want to make my video, am I invited on your channel? Jose?
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I the only reason you wouldn't be is because you were, not feeling well and sleeping, hopefully. Well, absolutely, you're invited on. But I assume if you're gonna be present, you'd probably want to be on your channel.
Yeah, well, we're still in that like this like two-faced flipping a coin and see what comes up like decision. 3 TVs watch all this. It's fun. I mean, like TV, like 4-way, like screen going on there. I do that. I used to do that all the time, by the way. Before I came on YouTube, I hated it. I hated YouTube. I would never go on to watch anything. And then I watched a few videos, and then I got to watching everything. So when I was not doing a video, or I'd end like my stream earlier, and Jose's streams usually go on a lot longer than mine do. So I would go and I'd watch him like reacting to stuff, and I'm like kind of silent in the chat. I'm often I'm watching a lot of people's stuff, and they don't know it because I'm gonna just keep quiet and just listen to what everybody else says. I kind of like that, being on the
lurker.
Yeah, it's the stock, the creepy guy in the background looking.
Who's that raincoat guy? Oh, that's Aaron.
Hey, kid, come on.
Maybe that's too far.
I was in college. Quick story on the side before we get back to Binghamton, we promise. I was in a series of shorts, of like educational shorts, where I had to wear shorts. I was dressed up like a little kid, so I had like these like shorts and a massive lollipop, and like a t-shirt and like the school, and I was in Stephenville, in Newfoundland, when I was going to university, and I was in journalism. And the second years, we're doing like these educational shorts, and basically I had to like skip down the street and get tempted. Like this girl comes out and she's dressed like a prostitute and like doesn't affect like, and I just skip on by. And there's like this friend of mine. He's now he's a radio host for. He said, hey, kid, come over here. And he's got the raincoat. And finally, like I get to a spot and I drop my lollipop and I start to cry. And like Albert, who's also ironically hosts a radio show now, comes by with his car. He's like, hey, kid, I got some candy in here. So I go over closer and he like yanks me into the car. It goes off. And it's like, beware of strangers type thing. There we go.
I love it.
Aaron's.
I love it.
I've been looking. I got to find it. I would love to. That and sex talk were two things that I did in school that made the rounds like at parties afterwards, because people would like, it would be hilarious. So
I love it, man. I love it.
A lot of yeah. Aaron was not. That was college, so it was like a lot of rum and coke. Well, if you're gonna go on your street, like with your main street, with like short shorts on, and just like walk around with a massive lollipop, it's something.
You're asking for it. You're asking for it at that point.
Yeah. Anyway, Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
got a sale going on. That's what we're talking. That's the company we're talking about. Title, recommendation, if it's there, Candy Snatchers. If you haven't seen this,
Oh,
massively love this title.
great movie. Yeah.
Spookies. This is an okay film, but the special features are 2 documentaries on this one on Vipco, and one on the film itself, and utterly fantastic stuff.
Yep.
Miami Connection.
Great.
All of it Miami Connection. Sugar Cookies, one of the early Vinegar Syndrome titles that I really love. Lynn Lowry did this one. Have you worked with Lynn Lowry?
I did twice. She's fantastic. So, a sweetheart.
See, that's the setup. There you go. I would love to meet Lynn Lowry. She seems like such a nice lady.
She is.
And back in the day, I was so in love with her from like Cronenberg, like Shivers and stuff. And her first film was one with the cannibals. Where the
I Drink Your Blood.
yeah, she's like pretty much no Whorehouse on Highway 5. You can't get this anymore. Bit of a flex, but I absolutely love this insane film. Do you like this?
No.
It is crazy, man. Like there's a Nixon mask, and there's like the guy has this rocket. There's a killer. Nazis are in it. My chauffeur, the first semi-mainstream thing that Vinegar Syndrome ever put out, and just people slept on this film a lot. It's got Sam Jones and it's got Deborah Foreman. And Deborah Foreman, every film she's in, you kind of fall in love with her, don't you?
Love her.
Only movie made by this director, Trip with the Teacher, Earl Barton.
But that's out of print. Nobody can buy that anymore.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that one's gone.
Zelman King plays the bad guy in this. And Zelman King, of course, will go on to work behind the camera, kind of like you. He did the Red Shoe Diaries and stuff like that. He kind of pioneered that. Fade to Black. Everybody needs this. I have both T-shirts, so there you go.
Is that still in stock? I don't even remember what's in stock anymore.
I don't know because there's a Fade to Black 4K from Shout, isn't there?
Is there? I had not heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
And of course, Blood Games. This is one of my favorites. I love this movie, and I can see why she went on and did like stunt work afterwards instead of keeping on going on like the other side of the camera.
Mm-hmm. Those are all really solid. Except for Horror House, I think those are all really great picks. Look, the thing is, they've got a lot of good movies that are worth watching, but it's hard to recommend Vinegar Syndrome because I could love it and somebody else could like absolutely despise it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the interesting thing about Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, now they're putting out studio things where, like, pretty much everybody enjoys Roadhouse and Showgirls. Dial Code Santa, that's another fantastic movie. So good.
What a haunting score. And like Bonnie Tyler's song is like wonderful nightmare fuel.
Great. Oh God. That was one of those like really like, okay, well fucking done, you guys. That's an excellent release. This is what you need to do. Put out fantastic movies that people haven't heard of. What the problem is, either rights or elements, and that always affects what gets out there.
I'm just responding to my dad's watching this right now. He's asking me questions on the.
Oh, nice. Well, say hello for us.
He asked me, like, if you're making any new films, and I said yes. I was invited to be on one.
Yeah, we got to get that Kickstarter going.
That's it, dude. Bring me to Los Angeles. Oh.
Yeah,
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr.
I'll kill you off too. I'll write it specifically.
Oh yeah, that's what I want.
That priest with the distinguished mustache gets killed by a possessed woman. There you go. There you go. It'll be all over the trades.
Night Train to Terror, the very first title I bought from Vinegar Syndrome, actually.
Gosh, that's a really fun one too. But is that still in stock? That might be gone because I know they got rid of a lot of their older titles.
I think it is actually. I think it's one of the ones that's still in stock, like Telephone Book. Like I think you can still get them too, which is another one that people sleep on, which I think is actually a lot of fun. But again, it's not for everybody. Like a lot of people, I say I watch Telephone Book, watch Raw Force. That's another one when I think Vinegar. But there's people that are going to go out there and like Telephone Book is boring as hell to me. So that's like it's always everybody's got their own thing. Like something is everybody's favorite movie. So movies that we crap on is going to be like somebody's going to be looking at it and saying, "What do you mean? This is the most fantastic film ever." I did a video early on my channel talking about the Rob Zombie Halloween films, and it was done in a joke. What I thought was a joking manner, kind of making fun of trying to get through the Rob Zombie Halloween films. I got threats on my life after that video.
Wow.
I'm big and serious. Like people took it really seriously. My stage name. Oh yeah. They always say it's supposed to be the name of the street that you live, like your porn stage, man. It's supposed to be the name of the street that you lived on, and then like your first like pet way to do it. I lived on fucking Main Street, guys. I lived on a small fishing village, and I lived on the main street, and it was Main Street. It was, and my first pet that I remember that I had was Princess. It was a Newfoundlander. So I would think Princess Maine is going to be my name for like for the.
I would call you something like I'd go with like a Chad Ramhard, you know, or there you go. Chad Ramhard is your new stage name. Keep that going, everybody. That's happening.
It's I used to love those, like, what do you call them, those go on and like Jello name generator sites. I would spend hours on those. I mean, like back to Vinegar Syndrome, because people came here for Vinegar Syndrome.
Yes.
And they stayed they got this whacked out stuff in between. But yeah, is there any ones that you would recommend, like overall, like that really stand out to you as being like really good releases? Things you should have.
It's tough about the should have, because you know it's subjective. But I love Blood Games. I'm a big fan of Dolly Dearest. Not a great movie, but it's a fun movie.
It is, and people wanted it so bad, then they didn't buy it once it came out.
I know, it's nuts. You know, I would say Shallow Grave is one of my favorite releases. Such a good movie, but a lot of people hate the ending. I thought it was powerful. I really like Sister Sister, which came out a couple years ago. Underrated. Dominique is another fantastic movie.
That was in this file that I left upstairs, by the way.
Yeah. Fade to Black, obviously really good. Spookies is a blast. I would say stuff to 100% avoid. Cardona Collection, Camille Keaton box set. There's a reason it's still at over 2,000. You know, Master of the World is really bad. That's just pathetic movie. Surf 2, don't even bother, man. They tried to reinvigorate it with a new slipcover. Get out of here, man.
Your slipcover butt like theory.
Yeah, that's where it started. It's like, okay, you just killed it. Another movie that doesn't sell well, but it's a good film, Steel and Lace. It's sort of about a robot woman revenge movie. That one's really solid, but it doesn't sell well, which is strange because it's a fun one. Stay away from stuff like
it's a really
Mutant
good
War. Yeah, it's a good movie. I would say Mutant War's terrible. Gosh, there's a lot that spring to mind. I'd have to have the site open in front of me, and I can pretty much give a review on everything. Not some of the newer stuff, but that's not on sale anyway. But we'll do that. We'll do that during midnight. But off the top of my head, I think this one's not available anymore. Sudden Fury. That one blew me the fuck away.
Such good.
So
wonderful
good.
Canadian, like kitchen.
But I think that's not available anymore. But that was like, damn, okay, this is what Vinegar Syndrome can do. And then they disappointed me. But that was one of the really, really solid movies that first hooked me.
Sudden Fury is one of my all-time faves. One of the guys is like he was a voice actor afterwards, and he worked on Inspector Gadget, like the cartoon series.
Scanner Cop,
because Aaron knows random facts that nobody needs to know.
That's good. I mean, hey, everybody has that thing that they love. Yeah, Scanner Cop. There you go.
Yeah,
I
but
think
like
those are still there.
good facts like math and stuff and geography, all being knocked out of my head by these random facts.
Oh man.
Always recommendation. I do love.
Oh yeah, great movie. Really good. Daryl's a lot of fun. Navy SEALs is really great. I think. I mean, but people know those movies. Those are movies that, for the most part, people have an idea if they're good or not. There's a lot of like Malcolm just brought up in the chat. Alien Private Eye is as a favorite of Mr. Slipcovers. I don't know why. I think it's a ridiculous movie, but he enjoys it. Yeah, it's tough to say 100% you will love this because there's so the movies are so mixed in general that you can't necessarily point to this is I mean, I can say this is a masterpiece, get it, but somebody else might not enjoy it, so it's tricky.
That's a good question there. Can we name a movie that we want Vinegar Syndrome to release, like that we'd like to see come out from Vinegar Syndrome?
I mean, mine was Freaked, but I think Umbrella's getting that.
Yeah, because that does seem more well. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome, because like Vinegar Syndrome put out Showgirls and Umbrella put out Showgirls, but that was before they worked together. Thank you, John. The glasses.
Woo.
I would say for me, in all honesty, oh God, there's so much that goes down on me. Breaking All the Rules. I still am holding on to my VHS of Breaking All the Rules, and I would love this. It's a great film. I think the music is probably what's keeping that one from coming out. But I just really like that film. I was younger. It's an '80s film, like an early '80s film. Sure, you know it. But it's one that I just want it to get released. I want to get a decent release of it. There's a few like horror films and like that I like to see come out too that still haven't gotten good releases. You know what I like to see, and this is only me. I want to see like those later Children of the Corn films, like 4, 5, and 6.
Oh wow,
that
is only you.
Like that, and I want witchcraft. I want the whole like the up to a point. Because yes, it might be a little bit painful, but I'd definitely watch it. Shannon Tweed collection. I'm there with you for that. Shannon Tweed, Bumpy, also from Newfoundland, like me, by the way.
Yeah, those are
as you
great.
can tell, because all Newfoundlanders look just like Shannon Tweed.
You look exactly like her.
Yeah, I know. It's possible to tell the difference. Witchboard.
Isn't Witchboard out already?
Yeah. Maybe that's a suggestion. For I like Witchboard.
Maybe I'm thinking of the other one. That's a good one. Look, I'm surprised that they haven't released the Children of the Corn or the Howling sequels, which aren't great movies. But those seem like easy to get, rights wise, and people like Aaron will buy them because either you want the series or just for fun. Like I ended up buying the Prophecy set during Subscriber Week, and I had fond memories of it, but after rewatching, I'm like, they're kind of whatever. But I think just because I had remember renting them and owning them on VHS, that nostalgia just sort of got me. But I don't know. I could live without the sequels of Children of the Corn or even the witchcraft movies. I would rather something a little more interesting come out. But there are people who would probably buy all 16 witchcraft movies. Julie Strain, one of my favorite actresses of all time, is in part 4, I think. She's great. I'd watch anything she's in. She's great.
She's in the Witchboard from Shout Factory. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Witchboard. Didn't 3 of them come back out though? Afterwards, or I'm thinking something else. No, Night of the Demons came out. I'll put it Witchboard too. I know because I think I probably got that. I would like to see, like somebody mentioned, Dead Alive. Bad Taste is another one, like Peter Jackson, some of his early stuff.
Those are
and if you want to like
Arrow.
do a Heavenly Creatures, I actually really like that film. Not many people talk about it. That was good.
Good movie. Yeah, I think those are coming from Arrow. At least that's the rumors that they're coming from 4K from Arrow at some point.
You heard that too, eh? Yeah. That and there's a rumor recently about Arrow working with Shout Factory for some like Asian cinema.
Huh. Okay.
Had you heard about that?
Oh, about Hard Boiled.
Yeah, and some other stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, a Hard Boil. I mean, that's a release that would sell the fuck out if that came. I mean, people would. I mean, because that is genuinely a good movie, and if you've never
That's
seen
great.
it, you're gonna love it. You know, that's one of those movies that like 100% masterpiece. There's nobody who would hate that. I'd be shocked if somebody goes,
I'm sure
"Well,
there's
it's kind
somebody.
of dumb." Oh, probably, yeah.
Beastmaster 2 and 3. Yeah. Oh, Lucky Man. I love Lucky Man. I got a set of my DVD, and I just love that director.
Mm.
The Lindsay Anderson. Yeah, that director. People are like, what the fuck is he talking about? But no, I got to speak to the guy that did that remade, re-edited Caligula, and he's good friends with Grant Morrison. I'm a massive comic book fan, and Grant Morrison. I geeked out to find out that he was a fan of Lindsay Anderson too. So I'm like, oh yes, I have something in common with my favorite comic book writers. Looking forward to the stream tonight. There you go.
Thank you, Mondo. Hey, if you want to jump in, let me know, man. Reach out to me. I'll send you a link.
165 titles in the partnership. By the way, shout out to
who did Vinegar Syndrome?
No, Shout Factory and Arrow. That's the rumor.
Oh, okay.
Planet CHH did a video with Cliff McMillan where it kind of got sort of mentioned without mentioning it that Texas Chainsaw 2003 and The Beginning are coming from Arrow Video with 4K releases. And I'm down for The Beginning. I'm actually not a massive fan of 2003. I'd probably buy it because Jessica Biel and like, but 4K, but it's not a great film. But it's good enough that I want to own it. I saw it with my cousin at a drive-in actually.
Yeah, I might grab it on a sale, but yeah, the stuff that like I get excited for Deep Blue Sea 4K. That's exciting because I love that movie. You know, but if you had the Blu-ray's fine. I actually never got the Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure I got one, but I was still you know rocking the DVD. But so my 4K upgrade made sense to me.
Yeah, for me, it's like right now, obviously, like you can tell that it's going to be an exciting Vinegar Syndrome sale because we're talking so much about Vinegar Syndrome titles.
Yeah, so
we're not
much.
swaying it all. Right? That's it. Like you guys know more about what I did in college than you do about the latest slate of Vinegar Syndrome.
You were like a little pervert in college, yeah. Off topic again, but somebody brought it up in the chat. The creamy films, the K, not creamy as in the ones that Malcolm buys, but KRIMI. I recently got Cremi. That's a better way to pronounce it. I recently bought the Mabusa films from Eureka, and I
really
hated that set. I did not like. I didn't like any of those, and I was shocked because that's kind of I love black and white, you know, noir kind of mystery kind of movies, and I really did not like any. I found them to plot wise and writing wise, I found them to be just a mess. So I'm wondering if that's indicative of the rest of the Cremi cinema, because I want to get that box set. I think Eureka also put it out. Was it Eureka? I'm not sure. Or 88 Films or whoever. Their set of movies. If that's indicative of those, then I'm probably not going to be a fan of those movies in general. But man, that set did not work for me at all.
Well, Cremi is very like the Mabuse are very stylized in the way that they're done, but Cremi in general, but there's a lot more of like the Edgar Wallace stuff and kind of the mystery stuff. Do I still have them? I used to have a bunch of network films. No, they're not there now. That was like the Edgar Wallace mystery films that came out, and that are really kind of like mystery stuff, kind of murder stuff. A lot more interesting stuff that you might like as opposed to that. No, I do like the Mabuse films, and I do, but again, not for everybody. But Creme is much more, think about like mystery, kind of noirish, that type of thing. That's more along that style, and they can be a little more stylized when it comes to the camera work. Obviously, like we saw, like a lot of these people start out with like in silent films, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and stuff like that. But no, don't give up on Creme just from that, because that's a very different like style of film.
Yeah, I mean, I found them, when you make movies, you watch movies a different way, and I was like, man, why did we waste so much time on this one character that didn't go anywhere? Why aren't we developing the plot? Like, and I'm an hour into the movie and I have no idea what's going on. It just, I don't know. Maybe it was just the Mabusa DNA, because it's like he's like a super villain or whatever. But somebody recommended Face of the Frog, which I've heard is really great. So I'm gonna need to track that down. But I don't know, man. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
It's there's different. I mean, like that's like when people ask me when Coffin Joe was announced, like from Arrow, and people are like, "Oh, should I buy Coffin Joe?" I'm like, oh, it depends, because you're either gonna love Coffin Joe or you're gonna fucking hate Coffin Joe. I've seen very few people that are on the fence when it comes to Coffin Joe. It's like one or the other. There's usually like very little in between with that. If you don't buy into that concept right away, like 4 other films ain't gonna it's not gonna convince you to buy it.
No, I can't believe anybody likes Coffin Joe. I mean, the movies are so obtuse. I am the master of darkness, and I stand on the precipice of death. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Give us a plot. What's going on, man? And he's got the nails. He goes, I am the killer of dreams. And come on. I don't know. It's that, like, the guy thought he was like this ultimate boogeyman, and he just looks like a goofball. Like he was hosting a TV horror show or something.
He does kind of look like one of those TV horror hosts, right?
Yeah.
Like what's his name? Like remember Zachary? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Love him.
And of course, Brain Damaged. Yeah, he's the voice. Good films, by the way. None of these from Vinegar Syndrome, by the way, but it did come out from Arrow Films, which did a good release of that.
Yeah. So anyway, Vinegar Syndrome. Yay! Halfway to Black Friday.
I am down with this. There is a Golden Child, and I'll probably buy the Paramount Presents, but there's a 4K.
Hey, look at the chat. Holy shit. What's up,
legend
man?
of YouTube, by the way. And if you wonder about adult cinema and you ever want like really motherfucking good reviews on that, go there.
I missed that guy. How have you been, dude? Yeah, his reviews, I literally just, they're comfort food. You got to review some more stuff, man. We miss you. It's just like the way you wax poetic on some obscure 60s porn. I'm like, god damn, this guy is like a Rhodes Scholar of trash cinema. It's phenomenal. I really love your stuff, man. You
have big fans here, man.
Yeah,
my better half too, and she doesn't watch those type of films. She likes your reviews.
Yeah. So yes, Black Friday, the sales or whatever, you are only getting $8 off. That is the big discount. When you put it in that term, it's like, oh, it's not really that much. So don't feel like, oh, I gotta act fast. For all the new people that are sort of jumping on now, my recommendation would be, if there's anything over 1,000, wait on it, because subscriber week is coming up. I believe it's June. If anybody in the chat can confirm, I believe it's June or July. It might be July, because I know they take June off. But yeah, subscriber week, you get way better deals, way cheaper than you would get for Black Friday, which kind of cancels Black Friday out. It is limited what they put out, so if you really want something and it's under 1,000, grab it. But you're not saving much money for Black Friday nowadays, unfortunately.
And next week is partner label month. I think that's what they do for the partner label sale for like next month, for June usually, which was killer. Like when you're collecting, when you're a subscriber, originally like 12 months, Vinegar Syndrome every month, and now it's like Vinegar Syndrome 10 months out of 12 months. but you're paying more. But you're paying more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hey, there you go. Some more love for Dante. Love it. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you. It's a funny thing when we go from cheering on a label to being, I think the honeymoon's over here.
Yeah.
Because are they taking advantage of us? Maybe a little bit. I think that might be the problem. In terms of um their agreement with the audience and with their customers. Hey, here's this label that will be, sort of art house movies. Oh, here's Drop Zone. Wait, but Drop Zone doesn't belong in that. So they're sort of taking their word back on that. And then, oh, we're known for our artwork, and then the artwork starts to slip. Or
Yeah.
or is it us? Are we just have we become pickier because we demand better, or we know that they can do better? Well, what do you think, Aaron?
I think there's a bit of both. I do think that they've gotten to a point where they feel like they're the belle of the ball and they can maybe get away with more because of that. And if
Yeah.
you go on any like the website that where we have a lot of diehard like Vinegar Syndrome like fans, uh, they do tend to like lash out if anybody says anything that's remotely, even they give their opinion on stuff, and they're like, I'm not really sure about this title, you son of a. No. But and other times it's going to be things like things are just going to resonate with everybody. And like I said at the beginning of this video, people come in at a different time. Somebody coming into Vinegar Syndrome right now that loves whacked out, crazy stuff have a backlog of stuff that are wonderful to go into if they're still available. But a lot of the newer stuff doesn't ring for me as what Vinegar Syndrome initially was and what I bought into.
Hmm.
Uh, so and the artwork has gotten worse. I'm not sure if they got a new person like doing the artwork or like doing the like just working on the art design, and no, that can get fixed over time. But yeah, but stuff like Jade and Dirty Work, like they deserve way better artwork than that. The Keep, I'm not a fan of the film. A lot of people are still for a monuments release for the work they put into it and stuff like that. You expect them to have a better presentation on it as well, because it's great to have a magnet. It's great to have like different like gimmicks with your releases. That's great, but you gotta like one. I don't want to like to have to turn away when I take it off the shelf, like I would have to do with Dirty Work, or Jade. Like just those suck. Like objectively they suck. Like not the films. Jade is, but the covers suck. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of both, but I do think that uh, they've had a lot of good faith with people, and they've put out a lot of great stuff, and they will continue to put out releases. And I understand that a bigger release, say like maybe like a Jade or a Golden Child, can help to fund some of those fringe different cool releases that I do like and that you like. I just wish that all of the attention wasn't so blatantly on those bigger releases that it
Mm.
seems like, to me at least, as a longtime buyer and fan of the company, that they've forgotten the the guys that brought them to the dance in the first place. That
Right.
these releases, that the raw forces, that if they were putting it raw force today, it wouldn't get the coverage that it got initially. Uh, they'd be looking at Rad, or they'd be looking at like Death Wish 2. Those are the things that bother me.
Absolutely, and I think they speak to us through their covers. We know, if you pay attention, and I have, and I'm sure others have, that they tell us how good the movie is by how much artwork they put into the movie. For example, the cover for Surf 2 and for Six String Samurai is fantastic. Great artwork. Hold those up. Like really, really overwrought pieces of cover art that are just it's fantastic. They did a great job, and these are shit movies. Whereas something like Golden Child, which I think is a really solid movie, they just use the original artwork because they know like that's familiar. People know it. It's great. You don't need to oversell it. But then they do a disservice to movies like Jade, which had better artwork, and it's not a great movie, but they do this like minimalist look.
Yeah, it's really weird choice.
Super works against them. Like that doesn't even feel like the movie at all. Or Looking for Mr. Goodbar. What the hell were they thinking? It's just like a black and white, like boring. What? That's the worst. Or the most egregious cover art of all time, Little Darlings with the ketchup and mustard shit on the faces. What the hell, man? Don't do that.
Is that because you couldn't use it?
That's because they couldn't use their faces. But you know what? Don't use that artwork. That looks like ass. Yeah. I mean, I think it's sold out. I'm not sure, but it's one of those movies still there. It's a great movie, but that cover, garbage. And I think it might have killed any interest from somebody who didn't know it, who might want to pick it up, because the artwork looks like they literally did it in like 10 minutes on Canva or something. It's a mess, and it hurts the collectability, and it shouldn't, because the movie should be the movie. But I think most people now approach it as I'm buying Louis Vuitton, like I'm trying to get this collectible thing that's limited. But that just doesn't move the needle anymore.
And if anybody knows we're doing bad artwork on Canva, it's this guy right here. It's spending days to do bad artwork on Canva. Yeah, where are the covers like this?
Yes,
this was great.
Great cover. Great cover. I missed Fade to Black. They have like 6 different covers, but sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean that was Cutting Class that had the 5 covers, which was ridiculous. Like, if you were a subscriber, you could get all 5 covers. And what exactly? You've got one Cutting Class. What do you do with all those other covers? Hiding Out. I love Hiding Out. I will love to see that get a great release. Wait, is there a new Hiding Out coming out? Oh yes, there is though. And yeah, the cover sucks ass. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, look
that up. John Crying. It's like the song Crying. That's
I've seen the movie, but I didn't know that there was a release for it. Who's putting it out? I wonder. Kino?
God, was it Umbrella or something like that? I had it up on one of my I got it come through. Like, she's not wrong. It's a shit cover.
Well, that is weird.
See it?
I think so. Is it black and white with like blurred faces?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Oh man. Oh, that's weird.
How do you feel? I got to ask you a question while you're before you get. So how do you feel about, speaking of Umbrella and something like that, how do you feel about these mega massive like movie sets for like $180 for like one film, and there's like books and there's some stickers and a post? Like, are you on board for all of that, or how do you feel about that?
I'm anti. I'm pro movie, anti packaging, in terms of I unless I love the movie, I will rarely put a poster up. I like reading, but I will rarely read any film book that comes with any release, just because maybe it's a thing because maybe I'm in a different headspace because I make the movies, so it's not like it's not as interesting to me how it's made, because I kind of know how it's made. But if I were hoping to make movies and I was like a teenager, this would be great. It's mana to see the actual behind the scenes process. That's phenomenal for people who are interested in it. But it does nothing for me. I don't read any behind the scenes books. I don't read any interviews. I don't have the time personally, and I don't have the interest. So I don't care for the books. I don't care for the lobby cards and the art cards. Does nothing for me. I would rather watch the movie and move on. I don't need the Never Ending Story box set. It's like a big book, but it's just the movie. I don't. That just takes up room. At the end of the day, you'll eventually just gonna either throw that out, or it's gonna collect dust, or it's gonna become a house for spiders. I don't need it.
Sequels and for Neverending Story, like at least put the sequels in the cartoon, and that's set for what you're going to charge for that.
Yeah.
No, I mean for me, it's the same thing. I think things are getting priced expensive enough as it is. That a lot of these mega sets, and they're putting if it was like, okay, this is a special movie, this gets a mega set. But correct me if I'm wrong here. Doesn't Umbrella put out everything? It seems like with a mega set nowadays, even just a lot of the regular films. Houseboat Horror has got a mega set. Why?
Yeah. I mean, the Super Mario set, which is like over $100. It's a guilty pleasure movie. I saw it in theaters. It's not good. But like, goddamn, dude, I don't need all that shit. I don't need that. Maybe some diehard fan really wants it, but dude, it's not for me personally. Your signal's coming through.
See, I don't mind for a special release. Yeah, I don't.
No, you're good.
I'll end this because I don't want to like keep you too long, and I don't want to like end up like looking like you don't want that really awkward like freeze frame. That people like. I just unfortunately probably did one right there. But no, I think that it's okay to do like a good like for something special, for something big. I know everybody thinks, well, this movie's special to me. Houseboat Horrors was special to me. Was it? Are you sure? Are you sure that's special? I don't think so. And like even some of the releases like Second Sight are coming out with now, like I think it's like The Nice Guys or something like that, just getting this big release. And I'm like, I got a Blu-ray of that and I'm fine. Like that does not like scream, I need a massive release. It just doesn't. And for me, like Golden Child, good film, but Paramount Presents release, unless I'm not like, there's some good features on Golden Child, I think. So that would tempt me a bit because I sat in theater and I did enjoy the movie. I would have preferred if they did like maybe one of the other, I don't know. I want like a good release for like the Beverly Hills Cops. I like those films, like the first two at least. That'd be good to see. Get a decent release from Summer because I don't think they've ever gotten. Have they really like aside from like, just bare bones?
I mean, there's a 4K release of all the movies, at least of the first three. The fourth one is stuck in Netflix, so who knows?
But yeah, until we get a nice Witchcraft box set, you know what? Is it even worth it?
I mean, yeah, we talked off air real briefly about the Bava set. I love Mario Bava. He's probably my favorite of the Italian fantasy filmmakers, and that's a shit ton of money. That is a lot, like insane amount of money.
$180
for 12 movies, I think 12, 14 movies. I mean, it's like insane because Severin could release the folk horror box set, and that's got 20 movies, and that was less money. So I honestly think that's just shout trying to stick it to people because that's a stupid amount of money. Like the Blaxploitation box set, I'd love to have it. Too fucking expensive, insane.
But yet, for some reason, it's 4K and less expensive than the Bava set.
Yeah.
What bothers me, and I'm about like you, I'm a diehard fan. Like we both grew up in North America. Like our first experiences, I'm going to guess for you too. Bav was those AIP Bavas that would come on TV or come in like your retro theater, like and where they were like Les Baxter did the scores for them. They were recut. And eventually later on, as a cinephile, you go see the original editions, the international editions. So the international editions are there, but the AIP editions with the scores that we would have been familiar with growing up aren't on the set. So the AIP releases aren't there. Whereas when I bought the Arrow video editions, like multiple versions of all the Bava films on each release, which is the reason because I would love to have the set. But it's too expensive. I'm a sucker for a book, so that for me, like I do a lot of reading and that stuff, but it's a lot, man. It's a freaking lot for that set, and I would love to own it, and I don't want to hate on it, but there's a lot that could put out. Like I could buy the Quatermass too from Hammer, for half the price of that, and I love me some Quatermass stuff. So I'd probably buy that before I buy the Bava set. And I love Bava, but I've got most of the films, and I don't know if I need another edition of most of those films. And commentaries, I love commentaries. There's a bunch of new commentaries on there. If it goes down in price, if it drops significantly, yeah, I'd be really tempted because I do love Bava. But at the price that it's at right now, and missing the stuff that it's missing, I don't care if it's not 4K. Like I don't give a crap about that. Blu-ray is good enough for me when it comes to that. But I wish that they'd included the other films. So if you can put in Lisa and the Devil and House of Exorcism, you can put in the different versions of the films, like Black Sabbath, and because you need that one. It's very different in the cuts of the film. It's a portmanteau, and the stories are done in different orders, and there's even a different ending for it, as opposed to like what we got, what initially happened. Because one of them has an ending with like Boris Karloff on a horse, on a like hobby horse type thing, which was hilarious.
Yep.
I did like the artwork though for Bava. I thought it was really good artwork.
I think she's talking about the blaxploitation one, which is really bad. It's like AI art almost. It's horrible. Ooh, I think we have we froze. I think you froze again, pal. We'll wait. Well, while we're waiting, how is everybody? Happy halfway to Black Friday for those who are participating or not, or just watching from the sidelines. Hopefully he'll come back in a moment. Well, I shouldn't drink. I'm the only person talking. Okay, there he is.
Man, I am back. I think that is a sign from above that I may have to end the stream because I'm losing internet, guys, for some weird reason. Well, it's a Thursday night here in Morocco, and yeah, this time of night kind of happens.
Yeah.
Check out. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going live, but whether or not, make sure to check out MasterChaos live later on tonight for that. I may be going live, or I may pop in, or I may be sleeping. One of those three things will be happening. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me today. We got to get together and do something. Again, I always enjoy this. We pull Malcolm in with us and do like a three-way. That sounds so wrong, but
three-way.
You know what I mean? God, this has been a weird stream, but in the best possible way. Thank you guys for came in, wanting to talk about Vinegar Syndrome, talking a bit about Vinegar Syndrome, hearing a lot of stuff from both me and MasterChaos on some very, very different topics. So yeah, it's an exciting sale, my friends. An exciting sale.
It's exciting to be present in the sale, but whether we'll spend money or not, that remains to be seen, I guess.
Will I be back for a Severance sale thing? Could be a conversation there. When are they doing theirs?
July, I think they wait till July. So we'll see. They call it their summer sale.
All right, so who knows? We'll see what we can do for a summer sale type thing. They used to be like together. But with that being said, and I think I heard your phone. Is that your phone?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, if you have anything to pimp, you want to pimp it now?
Well, at the moment, we got the stream happening tonight. As soon as the site goes live, so midnight for some, 8:30 for me. I got a new movie coming out June 13th. It's called Morgan the Killer Doll, and it's a concept that I've had in my head for years, and I finally get the chance to realize it. And I guarantee you, it's a killer doll movie in a way you've never seen before. So I'm very excited for that. And I'm starting work on another kind of religious horror movie that's going to shoot in June. So I'm busy, but I'm grateful to be working, especially nowadays in Hollywood, and doing what I love. So my YouTube stuff is sort of on the back burner, but I'm here for sales. I cover the Vinegar Syndrome opening, first day releases, and then mostly Voyage is what I do. The Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel, which is on rotating networks, and at the moment, Aaron is up for a spot. He's auditioning to be one of the core members. So the next episode, I think, is, it's on Lady Shasha's channel. And I'll put up information for that as soon as we have it.
So yeah, make sure you check that out, guys. I'm here a lot of the time, sometimes more than others, talking about films and cinema and all that great, crazy stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Aaron. This is the Call to Cinema. This is MasterChaos. Does amazing stuff like on YouTube and off YouTube. And make sure you check out the new film, because I'm really interested in your killer doll film. I have a killer doll story for you, which I'll tell you off air because I can't say it on.
It's a sex doll, isn't it? He froze again. Oh, we thought we'd get off without another freeze. Most likely it was a sex doll story. At least that's what we'll all do in our own headcanon. He's still frozen. Hopefully this doesn't impact the 5 a.m. screening. But anyway, if he doesn't come live and you guys want to hang out, I'll be live covering the sale. And hopefully he'll do his thing if he's feeling better.